daily for like 5 years and never cleaned, and then I decided to 5 years. I had to use 100% acetone. Like, it took so many. It was that was a real moment.
Well, I mean,
coming to myself.
Like nail polish? Like acetone?
Acetone.
Not even because it's usually
Not
the isopropyl
even
alcohol.
Alcohol wouldn't touch 5 years of resin hardened build up, and I was like, "What am I?"
I didn't even know how that.
Like?
Oh, hold on! I just fucked something up.
I just missed it. I don't know if that messed it up or not. Let's see. Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking. But yeah, I can't even imagine a bowl that bad. I was gonna say I can't even imagine how you would if it would have airflow.
Do you know what took me? Yeah. Do you know that's what it took for me to clean it?
Oh, this thing.
Like, it wouldn't
you're like going
even, and it was almost full. You know, I could barely fit any weed in it. So because.
Bruh.
It was so bad.
Did you not know what resin was?
No, I did not. I was like, weirdly, this keeps getting less deep.
That's crazy. Because the thing is, again, like I asked you, if you had cleaned a bowl before, like when you clean a bowl, like even if you've used it for 2 weeks a month,
yeah,
you clean it and it's like, whoa, this thing is see-through.
Right.
I forgot it was
beautiful
see-through.
Glass. Yeah. She's transparent. It's crazy.
It's like you're thinking about it like it's like a car and it just never goes back to its original thing. Like, no, you can actually clean.
You can, it's like, paper. Once you fold it, like you can never like unfold, but it like you get surprised by how brand spanking new the piece looks.
But at a certain point, I think you can't clean it. Like, I think that's why they say a week, a month, because like if you wait too long, all that stuff starts to stain. And I've even seen people, it'll be like, you can't use water that's too hot, but that doesn't make any sense to me because if I'm cleaning a bong, the super hot boiling water is the only water that properly cleans it.
Right.
I just find it to be, the reason with a bong, I find it to be a little bit embarrassing. If like I'm busting out my bong and that shit is like black, I
know. Okay, this literally happened. Yeah, my neighbor was like, "Let's smoke," and she was like, "Do you have your bubbler?" I'm like, "It's like actually embarrassing. I'm not bringing that out. Can we use something else?" You know, because because with yourself, maybe you treat yourself a little bit worse than you do other people. But then when other people come into the equation, you're like, actually,
yeah. My friend had a one hitter recently. I'm not gonna say which friend, and I remember hitting it and thinking like, God damn it, like I have to be nice here, but this thing is not hitting at all. Like it's like I'm trying to hit it, but I can tell it's like he needs to have some type of toothpick, some type of something. I don't have it, and I don't want to tell him because I feel like that would be kind of embarrassing for him. Like he doesn't realize, but I realize.
Yeah. It's like one of those things because they say you should only point something out on someone if they can fix it within less than like 5 minutes, right? Like if someone has something stuck in their teeth, you can tell them because you can like give them a piece of floss or whatever, they can take care of it. But if it's something like someone's appearance that they can't change really fast or like their weight or something, like don't say anything because they can't like do anything about it.
Unless you're like super close to that person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if it's just like some random person, you could lose weight. It's a really bad advice. It's just bad advice. It doesn't really, that's probably some of the worst advice. That's a really good piece of advice that you just said, though. I've never heard that before. Only give someone advice on something that they can fix in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it could even be something like if they got a big zit, right? They probably know. And they can't really like fix it in 5 minutes. So why point it out?
Yeah.
But something like if you've got like a twiddle on you, you know?
A twiddle? Yeah. What's a twiddle? I don't even...
This is like... People keep asking me what a twiddle is because I guess it's my family's own language. We have a couple words, you know, and it's just like a piece of lint or something that's on you. You know, you've got like something on your shirt. You got a twiddle.
A twiddle. I've had many whittle twiddles before. That's a good word.
Yeah.
I really like so it's not commonly used. This is not like Urban Dictionary.
I've only heard my siblings and dad and mom say it.
Do you know that one language where people speak it sometimes and they put a bunch of syllables in between words and then people talk in this way? Have you never, you don't know?
Pig Latin?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I never learned it, but I know theoretically kind of what
I cannot tell what people I'm like, I feel like they're speaking an alien language. It's really, it boggles my mind a little bit because they do it fast. People who are good at it do it really fast.
Because they used to, I think like I remember people communicating like that like in elementary school on the playground or something.
It's the best
Only
time
the
to learn.
Really cool kids were doing Pig Latin.
They're like saga waga wooga waga dugu daga digi daga dagu, and it's like, what are they saying? And they're all words.
It sounds so cool.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And I think all it is just inserting syllables, or like you're putting sounds into words. I don't even think it's that much more complicated than that. It's like when a sound goes, like, I don't even know.
And
I'm gonna learn Pig Latin. I'll get back to you.
I wanted to look it up because like definitely had the internet at that point and was interested in what Pig Latin was, but I'm like, I have Club Penguin to do. I got to go to the nightclub and
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I said a moment ago, I feel like that would have been the best time to learn Pig Latin because your brain
would pick it. That's why kids were so good at it. You can pick it up like crazy. And it makes me sad that we didn't. I know some schools had those early language programs where kids would start learning like Spanish or something as early as 2nd, 3rd grade, which even is for some people, they claim a little bit late to start. Like you want to start as early as possible if you want to cram languages in kids' heads.
Early, like 3 years old.
3 years old early. Yeah. They'll
like
pick it up
like
so
before
fast.
preschool early.
So we really should be starting
it's the way
them
a
by
brain
kindergarten.
develops. Like what we know about a way the brain develops. We literally, unless there's been more information from when I read this, I don't think we understand how a kid picks up language within the time that a kid does. Like we can't even explain it because as an adult you don't pick up information like that.
Totally.
They do it in such an amazing, inexplicable way.
The neuroplasticity is so strong. And it's also, my mom's a linguist, so we talked about language a lot growing up. Yeah.
That's cool.
What I thought was cool, she told me one time, she's like, it's, there are languages that are really hard to learn as a person of a specific first language. Like, for example, for English speakers, it's pretty tricky to learn Mandarin once you are an English speaker first. But every single language that exists today is equally easy to learn to like an empty brain. So a child growing up in any different country learning any language is going to learn that language as easily for their brain as any other kid learning their own first language. They're going to learn it at the same time, and that's going to be their first one. But then which one they have as the first one is going to determine how easy or hard it is every other language is to learn.
Right. And isn't it true too that the way, like when you, I don't know if this is right or not, but it's like when you can't pronounce certain sounds based on the language that you learned first, it's because you learned that language first, because any child can produce any sound.
Yes. Asterisk. Mostly yes, but there are regional slight differences in physiology that mean you can make certain sounds easier. So, for example, Margot Robbie, I think, was talking about this. She's Australian, and she has to do a lot of accent work because she's not always playing an Australian, right?
People literally probably are surprised when they hear she's Australian.
Right?
Like, what?
And apparently, I think if I'm remembering correctly, in Australia, they have a slightly wider upper palate.
Okay.
So that makes it harder for her to learn how to say certain things in certain languages for her roles because she has to deal with a slightly wider palate and
Wider? What does that mean?
like, so I believe the top of her mouth is extended out a little bit more because of being Australian and that being more dominant there.
I see.
Yeah. So there's slight differences, but not deviated enough to make it,
Huh. I just wonder because it's just so crazy that like you said, that changes I think it changes the way you think too. It doesn't just change the way you learn languages, it changes the way you think about everything.
Totally.
Like that's what's so crazy to me about learning all these different languages, and if you learn them early, I really think it makes your brain work differently. Like it makes your brain process information in a more broad way, whereas if you only know English, you only think in this English-oriented fashion, whereas Spanish is a whole different world almost.
Different world.
Yeah.
It's almost overwhelming when you think about it. And it makes you wonder, well, it makes me respect the profession of translating a lot more because it is a monumental task. It's not like,
Google
this word
translates like a
means
very
this word.
poor translator.
Right. That's the like lower end of what you're getting. But then true translators who are doing like poetry or something, that takes so much more time and focus and energy because you have to get also the meaning, the artistic meaning behind the original creator's stuff in order to translate it well. Sometimes you even have to make it rhyme still in a different language with different words available. And so capturing the essence of what the artist was saying while also being true to the words is tricky.
Right. Right.
and making it rhyme. That's crazy.
I think one crazy thing about history is that we didn't like translate everything until the 1400s. You know better than me, maybe. I mean, I know that's like we figured out how to translate Greek at a certain point, and it's like, oh my God, look at all this amazing literature, all this amazing everything, all this stuff we had forever. We just didn't even know we were looking at,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, we finally figured it out. It's just crazy to think about. Just like, and then that creates the Renaissance. That then turns into the Renaissance and everything changing. Is learning to translate words.
That makes a lot of sense,
It's
honestly.
just crazy because it's like all that information was there. I think that's how we found out about all this stuff with like the Indian medical scientists and all these people. Pretty much everything that they figured out, we didn't really know because we couldn't read the words until we finally can. So it's just crazy. I mean, because then all that information becomes available, and then we become. It's crazy how it all unravels like that, and it's crazy to even think about too that like now everything's so universal. So like 100 years ago, you don't have Google Translate. You just don't, unless you learn a language literally.
You are literally just
you're not
locked
talking to
out
those people.
from that. Yeah.
I basically know what all the people at my work are saying, and most of them speak Spanish.
Yeah. Right.
I think I understand them, but like that would have taken a lot more work back in the day.
Totally.
Like now I can just, I think Duolingo is free. I just got to watch ads, you know?
Duolingo. I was so disappointed that they went like the proud like AI laying off a ton of people route. I don't know.
Did they do that? I don't even know.
Yeah.
When did they do that?
Like a couple months ago. And yeah.
You know who else did that? CD Baby, the person I use as a distributor for my music, and a lot of people do. It's like how independent music is just getting worse and worse and worse. So they, I think Universal Music Group bought them, and then they laid everybody off. And now, what's so frustrating, you used to get good customer support in there. You used to be able to message them and say, hey, what's going on here? And they would message you back quickly. Now the AI messages you, and I have to like angrily, like an old man, say, no, I want to talk to a human.
Yeah. And it
makes me, because it's everything. That's everything. Yeah,
that
Duolingo did
that. Yeah, Duolingo. They were like, we're going full like steam ahead with AI, and
but employers, like, or employees, I mean,
and employees getting hella laid off, which I never understand. I guess I totally understand why AI is being eaten up by big companies, because it sounds great. You know, it sounds like a super plus for them to be able to fire a bunch of people, save costs, and work cheaper and faster.
Hollywood. That's Hollywood.
But I don't understand why they're telling us how excited they are, because it's layoffs. I'm like, why am I going to get excited when you're like, look at how much we can do with so little money, and we're getting rid of all these people's livelihoods? And I'm like, congrats. Like,
yeah,
I think this is supposed to be in your little evil boardroom conversation. I don't think I'm supposed to hear this. I think it's weird.
I think they well, it's kind of like I feel like if you really did something like that, you probably would admit it publicly just to let people know. Like, it's kind of like letting them know you're capable of doing that. I think it would be as simple as that. Like, these people don't care. Like, if you're laying off a bunch of people for AI to take their jobs because you want to make more money, they do not care about you. And they probably would like for you to know.
Yeah.
They don't care about you.
Right.
I actually think, like, they are that evil.
No,
if that's the
they
case.
are.
And that's them just laying people. Because it's so, I mean, it reminds me of like when you see anything with like, I guess like, again, AI in music, you'll see this happen a lot more now, where it's like, it'll be some AI, an article about, I can't remember who it was, but some guy was going to be the first person to sign an AI artist. And it was a well-known rapper. I can't remember who it was. And then all the comments are like, you know, I would rather have AI do my dishes and do my chores rather than take all the good things. Yeah,
that's what
like,
we do.
It's supposed to be the opposite.
Humans do.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. That's like what our purpose is.
And it's crazy because it's like we used to think it'd be the opposite. So you used to think the robots are going to take all our jobs, but like they're going to take our jobs and we can just do whatever we want. But it's not that. It's the other thing. We're going to do what the robots are doing.
Yeah,
and they're going to take all the art
and
they're
TV shows and the music.
Well, and this is the thing too. I think it's going to get so good that it will become irresistible. Like right now, it's still all relatively kind of sucks. Like it's all so good so fast, but it's exponential. So give it like 5-10 years. Like, okay, if I could just put on goggles and be wherever I want to be, like I could go in any movie and I could be a character in the movie and it would like, I could make choices and it would change the movie. Dude, I would do that every day. How would I not do that? It would be so fun. If I could just go into any movie, oh my God. And so that's the crazy, I just think about it. Like if I could do it, I would do it, and that's everybody. It's like right now, it's already like that. And it's
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hate you right now because no one has ever told me a scenario of what late stage AI could look like that I was interested in, and then you just said that, and that sounds amazing, and I kind of am mad now because I don't want to think about that. And no, I'm still right.
It's gonna ruin your life.
No, I'm gonna become one of those people who's just, I guess, like cut off from technology.
I'll never put a chip in my brain. Okay, I'll say that.
I will be first to put a chip in my brain. I don't know about that. I mean, depends what it can do.
I don't know. I don't trust the chip, but I do trust the goggles. Like if I could just throw on some goggles and go anywhere, that's cool. But I don't trust the chip because it's like, okay, so first of all, the guy who had the chip, he was kind of a prototype, and I think it kept like detaching from his brain, and that was the problem. Like it would work for a while, and then all of a sudden, it's like he had lag in his controller for the game,
and you're like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want that. And so that's just the beginning. And then it's like also just knowing how any technology works. Like you can hack a computer. Anybody can just get your IP address.
Yeah,
and
I
hack
changed
your
my
computer.
mind. I don't want it.
That's what scares me. Imagine someone hacking
I want
your brain.
bio enhancements. Like I want double jump.
We got cyborgs already. We're halfway there.
Give
if
me
you want
those
a double
knees.
jump, I think you could, if you had enough money, you could probably get double jump right now.
Yeah, but it's like 2nd gen double jump. I want like 7th gen double jump.
Right.
And then I want mass produced double jump. I want like tested by millions of people first double jump.
I will tell you, there was some video I watched where it was, I think it's Sean Ryan, and he does these podcasts where I think half of them are like weird psyop. I don't even know what's going on. It's like alien whistleblowers, and it's like government. It's half this podcast. And also he previously worked in the government, or in the army. I can't remember what it is. But I'm just watching it and I'm like, I don't know. Because there's so many phenomenal claims made on this show. But anyway, that's how he got so popular. But anyway, there was one where the guy said that the military has exosuits that are super powerful, and they give like super strength, and they can jump super high. They can do all these things. And I feel like maybe, wouldn't that be cool? Like that is, in my mind, 7th gen double jump, because you just throw the suit on and whoosh,
Yeah, and you don't even have to get surgery.
And you're like Iron Man. It's like Iron Man.
It is. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like basically Iron Man, which you're lying if you say you don't want a suit like that. What are you talking about?
That'd be so cool. Well, let me think. Like on the scale of like Iron Man or Batman, I'd rather have an Iron Man suit, because Batman has all these gadgets, but Iron Man seems easier. Well, no, because I think Iron Man, you need somebody to like assist you. Like remember in the movies, if something goes wrong, he's like, "Hey, help me," and then he's talking to some. You don't need that if you're Batman.
Right. I think Batman. That's a tough question. I think
I've never thought about this before.
If you're getting everything along with it, like Batman's more traumatized. I think like you've.
I'm just thinking the suit.
Okay, just the suit. All right. Just the
Not
suit.
like if you were
just
them.
the suit, but he can't like fly. He can glide, which is cool.
Right.
But he can't fly.
That's a great. But you need fuel if you're Iron Man.
That's true. You can run out of fuel. But you get a hole in your wing.
I don't know. I have to imagine.
Hook.
Have you ever seen Batman have a hole in his wing before? I don't think it's ever happened. So I think he's got some type of really good wings.
Yeah, because they're like Kevlar or whatever, like military grade thing.
That'd be whack as fuck if Batman was getting holes in his wings. I'd be like, yo, this is raggedy ass Batman.
It's the Spirit Halloween cape. He ran out. He needed to grab one.
It'd be really disappointing. Like Batman's flying and all of a sudden, rips.
Yeah. I think like we don't want to see Batman that lame, because
like Superman. Like if you see any superhero's cape can't rip. That's kind of just a rule. I don't think you ever see that.
If it does, it's more like a symbolic, like, oh my god, like it's in tatters.
Like they were in a war. Yeah. Did
you see the new Superman?
No, did you?
Yeah, it was great.
It was great, you say. And James Gunn directed it, yes? See, okay, I'm just so burnt out, like most people on all these movies. Also, DC, I never have really trusted. I think, again, like most people.
Is a new era.
That's what they always say.
But they're right this time.
Okay, all
I mean,
right.
it gives me hope. It was like a return to. I love Boy Scout Superman. Like, he's supposed to be this like corn-fed Midwest boy, like really good, just cares about people, really powerful, but feels superhuman because he was raised by human parents and like has always basically called Earth home. And he's supposed to embody all the best traits of us humans, right? He's like the best of us. So it was kind of a return to that, as opposed to, I liked the Snyderverse. I didn't mind all of those installments, but it got pretty dark, dreary, very
I would
like,
say it was dark from the start.
yeah. It was just kind of, it was a lot.
Zack Snyder seems like a grown-up teenager to me, and I say that respectfully.
Yeah. And that vibe can work super well. Like, some of his stuff is really innovative. Sucker Punch was ahead of its time.
Yep.
What was the other one that I really enjoyed from him? There's some, like, I do like his work.
Yeah, I think he's very stylistic, and anybody that's like that is gonna be kind of. It's hard to put a finger on it. Like, I can't, even if I don't like it, it doesn't really matter because that just means it's not like the style for me. I haven't seen Sucker Punch, so I haven't seen that. I think I've seen 300. 300 is also
Classic.
that's a well-known one that everybody mostly
And his
likes.
style worked for it. It's very iconic.
Exactly, it works there. So I think it's just all about the context with him, because I don't think the Justice League Snyder cut edit needed to happen. I don't think Justice League even needed to happen.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, again, not even necessarily probably his fault, because that's how all the problem with all these movies is you have so much studio involvement, it kind of destroys everything.
Yeah.
And so that's really why I just don't even see them, because it's just like, I'm so worried that it's going to be another, like, okay, I saw Thor 4, I think is the last superhero movie I saw in theaters. Holy
Rough
shit.
one to end on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I saw that with my mom. Mom was like, oh, it's good. My mom thought it was good.
The imbalance in that movie is staggering. I mean, you've got pieces of a great film in there.
Yeah.
Everything Christian Bale does,
They wasted
phenomenal.
Christian Bale.
You're like, wow, I'm in it. Oh my God, he's so captivating. Like, this is a really tragic story. Oh my God. And then you're like, this is the next second the dumbest shit I've ever seen, and it's not even funny. And the whiplash that you get between those is, I don't know. It's not a film I ever really want to rewatch.
No.
But like, I do want to just watch the sequence of like Christian Bale being the God Killer, because it's like, that's.
And what drives me insane is that I know exactly what happened. Thor Ragnarok exists, and the last Avengers movie exists. So they thought, oh, funny Thor is resonating with people. Let's do another funny Thor movie. But they also made another not, like, the Christian Bale part isn't funny Thor.
Yeah.
So you just threw two movies together, and then they expect it to work. And that's what all, okay, and then Doctor Strange. So when Doctor Strange comes out, it's like a fun movie, but like in the context, like if you saw WandaVision, it doesn't really make sense.
No.
Because, and also if you didn't see WandaVision, it doesn't make sense, because now you're thinking, who are all these people?
Right.
So what's going on here? It doesn't stand alone. But also if you saw WandaVision, you're thinking, why is she being such a bitch right now?
Yeah. It doesn't work. Like, you're just like, well, I've been trying to keep up. I've been doing the thing you said. I watched the show, and now I'm watching this, and I am even more lost.
I think of it like a machine that's falling apart. And so I just really hope they pull it together. It's interesting. I mean, I guess you're right. DC is kind of trying to, like, at the same time that Marvel's moving into this next phase, DC is trying to reinvent themselves too.
Right.
But I don't know, because it's also at the point in time where you got these video game movies that do make money now, and superhero movies don't make as much money. So can they turn it around? Because if not, it's probably like over. And I think also a big step in the wrong direction is when Marvel started doing shows. I just think they never should have done that. They took so many things that could have been movies and made them shows to stretch them out.
Yeah.
And to
And
promote
COVID.
their streaming service.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, and you can even look at the shows and you can see, okay, so episode 1, 2, and 7 and 8 are like the things that could have been in the movie, and everything else you could just kind of cut out.
Well, I agree for most of them, except Loki season 2 was some of the best
Yeah.
TV or movie Marvel content that I've ever seen.
And again, you end that with this, you introduce this character who's going to lead into the Avengers movies, and then you retcon that character. So now none of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
But the show's good. Yeah.
It's like good as a time capsule to me of like what could have been, you know, like
because that had a lot of potential.
It had
the whole
a ton
King
of potential,
thing.
and then then that. So it is, but it is kind of. I agree with you, but
It's just kind of. I think again, it's studio involvement. Really, that's what happened because Jonathan Majors turns out to be innocent, so it just makes them look bad now. Again,
did he? I'd like.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I haven't been like following it. I've just been.
Now, who knows? Maybe I will give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Maybe all these things. You really don't know the full story. It could have been maybe he wasn't innocent, but there was money involved. Maybe he really was innocent the whole time. That I think is the most likely scenario, is that he is innocent the whole time, but he gets accused, and then you have Disney come around and say, oh, you know, because we don't want this guy being the face on our major, like this is our cash cow right here. And so then they preemptively fire him, and then 6 months, a year later, it turns out, oh, it didn't pan out. But you can't rehire him. You already rewrote everything.
Right.
Now you hired Robert Downey Jr. So it's just, oh my God. I just really hope a miracle comes through. Superman was good, you're telling me.
I seriously recommend it. I had a smile on my face for like most of the movie. I was very captivated. I thought the main guy, I'd never seen him in anything.
What's his name?
That's the problem. It's like not a household name to me yet, so I forgot. But he was just perfect. He was really, really good for it.
And then they introduced that Hawkgirl, Supergirl.
Yeah, she comes in.
Is there anybody else?
There's Nathan Fillion plays. He's like one of the Green Lanterns, and he's like he's like a dick.
Another Green Lantern, because we had Ryan Reynolds. Was he the only other one?
Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern, and
I thought there was another one.
Less up to date on like Green Lantern. The lanterns are not my like favorite thing.
I
took a quiz. I was like, which lantern are you? And there's all ones for every different color. I got orange, which I was so offended by because orange is like all about greed. There's only ever one like orange lantern, I'm pretty sure, and it's just the one that hogs it. And
I don't even know about
mine
the.
is
Wait,
mine,
wait.
Is mine is mine. That's their slogan. They all have slogans. The orange one is what's mine is mine.
Is this all the lore of the Green Lantern comic?
Yeah. Well, like not just green. It's like the Lantern Corps.
Is this a
maybe
thing?
I do know a little bit about the lanterns, but yeah, there's like blue, green, red.
I've
orange.
never in my life. I thought the Green Lantern was just this random thing.
No, the Green Lantern is a specific like sect of the lanterns, and they stand for all different things.
Oh,
yeah. So like,
what's the origin? So you don't know?
I think they have different origins depending on the lantern.
No, is
type.
it like a cultural thing? Where does this come from?
Oh, this is Marvel.
Oh, so it does come from Marvel.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like they made all this up for the comic. That's why I said the lore of the comics.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, like, is this like from like, is this some historic thing I've never heard of?
Yeah.
Did they say this in
is just
ancient
the Marvel
Greece?
Lantern Corps. Yeah.
I was really thinking like this was like something going on in Rome or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, so, and the Green Lantern's greed, or no, Green Lantern's not greed, the Orange Lantern's greed.
Orange is greed.
Green Lantern's good.
Green is like, I want to say like freedom or liberty or something. It's like something like defending others. They stand for good, yeah. But
Okay.
I think blue lanterns are also good. That's why I don't think it's just good for green. I think. I know the red lanterns are bad.
Damn. I get it. Okay, this makes sense. So I didn't even know they did all that. So it's kind of like a fun color thing. They don't really do that in very many of the comics now I think about it. Like have a bunch of different colored factions.
Right.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, it's like it's fun, and then they all have like cool like powers. But really, I've just watched a couple YouTube videos on it. Like, because whenever like a comic book series or like line of comics is interesting to me, like maybe I'll try to check it out. But often I'll kind of just like watch a YouTube explanation of it.
Spoilers.
You
Spoilers.
Yeah, but it's like about consuming the story at that point. So I'm like, if I got to go about it this way, I'll
do
learn
they
about
have
it.
pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like sometimes I'll like pan kind of through some panels and like talk about it. And if it's a good YouTuber, they'll make it interesting and like make it,
That's a cool idea. I guess if you were like a good voice actor too, you could make it cool.
Yeah, it's like story time.
Yeah.
That's
what it
I'm
sounds
just like
like.
in a library listening to someone read me a book or something.
I didn't know that anybody did that. That'd be fun because it's basically like watching a comic book rather than reading a comic book.
Yeah.
And I find reading a comic book to be kind of boring.
Really?
I don't know. I can't even watch animated. Like I need to watch more animated stuff that's really good so I can like ease myself into it. Like I need to watch the classics.
Yeah.
I've seen all the Disney ones, but I mean like whatever other big, like I guess Spirited Away, all those.
Oh yeah, you got to do some Miyazaki. I definitely recommend Spirited Away. My Neighbor Totoro is a little like older, but it's like a classic.
Yeah, those are the ones. They're all the same, right? So what is the studio? Studio Ghibli.
Ghibli or Ghibli. I say Ghibli. I don't know if it's Ghibli.
I think. I don't know. That's a hard one because I've always heard Ghibli.
Yeah, I think it's Ghibli.
But I don't know. Maybe I've just been listening to my American friends. I don't think I've ever seen it said on a video or anything like that.
Yeah, because I think the logo is like silent.
I think Ghibli sounds better. Studio Ghibli, it just sounds fun. It sounds better. But and then I don't know because it's Chinese, Japanese. Which one? Japanese. Do they even go Ghibli? Do they make sounds? Yeah, they make sounds like that. It could be Ghibli. Because I don't know if Ghibli or Ghibli sounds more Japanese. I'm trying to think.
I don't think we should guess.
But anyway, whichever one it is, it's great. They make great stuff. And then they're like the big one, right? There's not any other big animated studios that's like notorious like them, is there?
Well, it depends if you're talking about anime.
I mean, another big anime, Akira. That's another one that I know is good. That's like foundational.
Yeah.
That's another one, though. I'm thinking of movies, too. I'm trying to think of movies, not shows.
Well, like
but
Sony nowadays is one of the big producers of animated movies. So, like, you know, Sony put out the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh, those.
I think Sony
right.
did meet, what is it? There's like a animated family trip movie that I'm forgetting that they did recently. That was super good.
You don't remember what it was called?
It was like Mitchell, like Meet the Mitchells or something like that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I really wish they would actually just go back to the 90s animation style. Nothing is stopping them from doing it.
Oh.
And everyone would love them for it.
2D?
Yeah.
Like, well, this is 2000s, but Prince of Egypt, you seen?
No.
How?
I haven't. I just haven't.
How?
I haven't. I've seen
First
a lot of
all,
them.
Voldemort as Pharaoh. Need I say more? Ray Fiennes.
Okay.
Voices Pharaoh. And then it's just like, it's got a stacked cast of people that I can't remember right now. And
Early 2000s?
Oh, Martin Short is in it.
Okay.
And it's like the tale of, you know, the Exodus from Egypt. But it's like, yeah, I think it says at the beginning, like they try to stay pretty true to the story while taking a couple artistic liberties, but you know, it's the story of Moses and him growing up in Egypt as the Pharaoh's son.
What's it called?
Prince of Egypt. It's got a banger soundtrack.
This sounds so familiar. I feel like I just heard about this the other day
Well, it's
something.
really, really good.
And they were trying to do, was it that they were trying to do something like old Hollywood where they did all these biblical stories and they were trying to bring that back?
There
Or was it
were a
something
couple
like
that were made. There was like Prince of Egypt. There was Joseph's Dream or something. I didn't watch that one.
I swear I did hear about that because I think that's what the video I was watching was saying. It was talking about that movie and how there was like they're trying to bring that genre back because that was, I think even then you don't really. I think Martin Scorsese made that one movie recently, but that's it. You don't see a whole bunch of like biblical movies ever.
They tend to be long too
and boring. They tend to be boring. I think the Martin Scorsese. I didn't see it, but I'm always scared it's going to be really boring. Temptation of Christ. I haven't seen that either. I'm afraid it's going to be boring.
I think it might
is.
be.
Yeah.
Because it's. I think long movies for the sake of being long get to me.
I didn't like, again, with Martin Scorsese, what was that movie he made recently? The 4-hour one? What was it called? The Irishman.
The Irishman. I didn't see it.
So long.
I heard that. I did hear that.
It didn't need to be that long. Like, it was one of those movies where it's Martin fucking Scorsese, so you can't really like say anything doesn't belong. You can't say it's not perfect. You can't say that it's not all there for a reason.
Right.
But you can because it's too long.
It's a little indulgent.
Indulgent, yes. But at the same time, it's still cool because is it like probably the only chance you're ever going to see Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and all these people in a mobster movie together one more time.
Right.
It's the
They're
only
soaking
time.
it in. It's probably one of Scorsese's like last couple films.
And
like,
again, last mafia movie maybe.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's going to do it again
it's
or not.
It's a thing. It's a big deal. He's made his mark. He earned it.
I mean, now I think about it, it's 20 years after Goodfellas, something like that.
Classic.
So no, I think it's over 20 years. Goodfellas
It's got to be over 20 years at this
it's like
point. We're
30
2025.
years.
It was made, in what, the 80s?
No, Goodfellas is
90s?
92, I think.
Really?
It's like early 90s, if I'm
That makes
correct.
sense.
But even then, like 2002, 2012, 2022. Holy shit. Yeah, it's 30 years later. So yeah, that is pretty crazy. Because you only have so much time. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is notorious for saying he's going to make one more movie. I do not believe him. I'm one of the people who does not believe him.
What else is he going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Like, you're made to make movies.
He's such a nerd. Like, there's just no way. There's just no way. I mean, maybe there's a universe where he goes and he does, like, production and he does all the other stuff but direct. But I just can't even imagine. I still can't. Maybe he'll do shows. Maybe that'll be his loophole, is he'll find a way to do television.
I would watch a Tarantino. What's your favorite
Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
Movie in general or Tarantino
movie?
I have a favorite, but which one is it?
Inglourious Bastards is mine.
That's a good choice. That's a really good choice.
It's kind of like, I think it's my number 1 or 2 movie overall.
I feel like I'm going to say one, and then I'm going to realize that I think
There's
another one didn't even
Jackie
pop into my mind.
Brown,
So I'm going to look at them.
Death Proof, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm forgetting.
I think that's almost all of them.
That was almost all of them.
Let me see if you forgot any. I mean, yeah, I think that was all of them.
Nah, I think I'm missing one.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. So did you say all 8? You said Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill. You didn't say Kill Bill Volume 2.
Well, Kill Bill was originally intended to come out as one movie, and they split it into 2. So
Okay. And then Jackie Brown, and then Inglourious Bastards, The Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django. I think you said all those.
I didn't say Django. I missed Django.
Oh, you didn't say Django. I actually think my favorite of all those probably would be Django.
I haven't seen Django.
Really? I saw it in
know.
theaters.
I know
It was
I'm gonna
my
love it.
first Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh.
And
I mean,
saw it
I've
in
heard it's one
theaters.
of his best. I know it's probably. I just actually thank you for the reminder. I need to watch it. It's been too long that I haven't seen it.
The performances in it are great. The story's great. The twists are great. There's a couple like such good moments in that movie that if you know about them, it's not as good. But if you don't know anything about them,
I don't.
Then
I've been preserved.
Because again, I saw it in theaters, and I think I remember when a certain moment happened, and everybody goes, "Oh!" Because it really is one of those. Samuel L. Jackson in that movie.
Yeah.
So good.
How do you not? How do you not love him?
I mean, in that movie in particular, because again, I watched this, I was probably 14, and I didn't know anything about Quentin Tarantino. So I don't even think I knew it was Samuel L. Jackson when I'm watching the movie. I don't even think I recognized him. That's also Leonardo DiCaprio's one of his few villain performances, because I don't think he regularly does antagonistic. Like, I'm trying to think of another movie where he does that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's his normal thing at all.
I can't even think of another one. I think he's only done it once. Maybe more than once. Same thing with Tom Cruise. Like, they both play such good villains, but they just never do it.
Yeah.
And if they did more, like another movie with Tom Cruise playing a bad guy, Collateral. Have you ever seen
Haven't
that movie?
seen it, no.
Oh my God. That
do
movie's
like-
crazy. It's Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
Ooh.
And there's like, it's directed by Michael Mann. And there's a couple of scenes in that movie where, like, okay, Tom Cruise, just sometimes he reminds you that even though he does all this crazy shit, he is like a really good actor, so
I know.
you can't
It's
even
so
be
annoying.
mad. He's
Such a
like,
weirdo.
He's so crazy that he's amazing at acting. And a movie where his acting is like top 10 acting. One of my favorite movies of all time, Magnolia. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh my God. So that's
Being
Paul Thomas
out-movied.
Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson's the shit. He's my favorite director, I think. And that movie is amazing. And I can't even explain why Tom Cruise is so good, because it's only like towards the end when you really understand why he's so awesome.
Yeah.
But oh my God. And it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it too.
Rip.
Oh my God. The Masters, the first Paul Thomas Anderson movie I've ever seen. That movie's fucking incredible. And that's also the first Joaquin Phoenix movie I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Paul Thomas Anderson is the shit.
I got to check him out.
And speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, he's got a new movie with him coming out this year called One Time After Another. One Battle After Another. One Fight After Another. Something like that.
Yeah.
But that's him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. A whole lot of Leonardo DiCaprio haters, by the way. Have you ever noticed that? You ever see that online? People be hating on that guy. I kind of feel for him because he's not
How
amazing.
much do you feel for him? I'm sure he's crying at night, dabbing his tears away with women. I don't know. Like,
with his 18-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. I think he's okay. I don't think he gives a shit.
I just think it's funny because, like, I don't even think he's... What I mean is, I don't think he's a bad actor. I don't think he's an amazing... Like, he's not...
I think he's an amazing actor.
You think so? I don't think he's, like... upper echelon amazing.
No.
I think he's very good. But
I
just think it's crazy he has so many people who think he's just bad.
I think we're at a point where we can objectively say he is not a bad actor.
Well, I mean, I think he proved it when I think What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Like, you cannot say that is bad acting.
Yeah.
That is some of the best child acting ever. It really
Absolutely.
is. Like,
Absolutely.
it's incredible. Because, I mean, that's just anytime you see kids in movies, if you're like a movie nerd, you already know what to look out for.
Yeah.
Because, like, kids are just notoriously bad. They're just always bad.
Totally.
So anytime it's good, I mean, Stand By Me is like another crazy kid movie. It's just kind of unbelievable the movie even exists because it's all a child cast. But yeah, so Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. What's another crazy good Leonardo DiCaprio performance?
trying to think.
Where he's really good. I like Blood Diamond a lot. That's because he really nails the voice. He's talking in like a South African accent the whole movie.
That's wild.
Yeah. I can't do it for the life of me. Like that's one of those accents that makes me mad. I can't even get close.
No.
Like, I don't even want to try because it's embarrassing when I try.
You were about to.
I was about to.
I know it's not like his magnum opus or whatever, but Don't Look Up. I actually really enjoyed him in that.
He was good. His performance is really good in that movie. Yeah. Yeah, he plays how would you say? I mean, I would say that's probably him drawing from real life though, because it's his whole thing to be like a humanitarian and
yeah, I think that's where he gets some flack too though, because he does claim to like support those causes and like talk about climate change issues, things like that, and then yet he does participate in activities that
he flies on a jet to these conferences.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, but it's tricky, right? Because on the one hand, you do want people who are rich and have positions of power to be advocating for those things, right? Like that is a positive. But then you also kind of open the door up for criticism if you're not living how people perceive you to need to align with your
I like
values.
how Marlon Brando did all that. I don't know if you've ever seen any of that, but like Marlon Brando, he won an award once, and I remember he had a Native American accept the award for him and then just make this speech, like this 5-minute speech.
Neat.
That's like the move. Rather than going up there and making it about you, just let them do it for you. And that's more of a statement. I don't even think he went to the event. I think he just had the person go for him.
That's actually awesome, because then you don't even need to bring into question whether you're giving the message across correctly, right? Because if you're the one putting someone's words in your mouth and saying, well, I okayed it with this group or whatever, sure, people can believe you, but some people are going to be like, how do I know that, right? But then like...
And actions speak louder than words.
Totally. So
that's
just
always
having it literally be...
Yeah. It's hard though, because I think it's kind of an impossible thing, because if you're a celebrity, for one, you're always going to get criticism no matter what you do.
Sure.
So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, because even if you do it, your intentions are questioned and all, like... I think it's just it's about how you do it for sure though, because it's just I think a lot of it's about the optics of it. Like when I'm from Flint, Michigan, I remember there's a few celebrities who actually provided clean water to Flint, Michigan, and I think that was a very telling thing when a celebrity does something, like, because no one else is doing it. So that's the type of charity where it really speaks for itself that you're even doing it at all.
Totally.
But again, it also becomes this thing where you just have to be wary of, like, okay, like someone like, I think Leonardo DiCaprio means it, but someone of his stature, I would be like, okay, so how much of this is you trying to appeal to people an appeal to the proper thing rather than you actually believing it. And that's really where it all comes from. Is like, how much do you really believe that? And how much do I believe you?
Yeah.
Like, how much do I really trust you? Because you're an actor. You're literally a liar.
Yeah.
That's your job, is to lie to me.
No, I agree with
And
that.
so it's a very tough predicament. Is like, you kind of can't win if you're the actor.
No,
There's
you
nothing
can't win.
But you should do the right thing. You should actually
You
provide
should.
for people. And I mean, I like to think that if I stumble upon a bunch of wealth someday, I would find a way to do things with that actually make a tangible difference.
Totally.
But it's just hard. Even like charities, you always got to look out for them, and how
Yeah.
much can you give to a charity that actually goes to the thing. I think going to Flint, Michigan and giving them water is better than giving money to a charity that then provides money
Oh,
for Flint,
100%.
Michigan.
Although I will say, if it's an action that's doing a really net good, like someone giving 100 million directly to helping like a disaster, right? I kind of don't care if they really believe in it, right? As long
Yeah.
as they're signing that check.
How do you feel about you see any of this MrBeast? Like, people hate MrBeast now, and
That is always interesting to me because I guess I never thought there was a chance he was probably a good person, because his entire business model is exploiting people's desperation for money to like get views, which is fine. Like a lot of people, I'm not saying it's fine. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. I'm just like, why did anyone think he was a benevolent person?
I think in the early days of MrBeast, in his very earliest videos, he really did seem a lot more, for lack of a better word, human. Like, he really did seem more genuine. And nowadays, he's gotten, I mean, even when you hear him describe, he's just a really interesting person to listen to speak, because I think it is interesting at the very least how his mind works. And he is kind of this machine in a way, and he's trained himself to be that way. And it's, again, inhuman in a sense. And even he knows that. Like, even he will say, like, most people can't do what I do. And I think he's right.
Because most people have empathy.
Yeah, no, 100%. Most people don't even want to live like that. They don't want to spend their life obsessing over I mean, like you say, extort. I would think like, or did you say extort? I mean, you could use the word extort. Exploit. So the exploiting attention. Like, I think not even just exploiting people for money, but like, that's his whole mindset, is how do I exploit the mind span, or the attention span of all these people. And he's gotten it down to such an algorithm that he literally has ruined the internet in this way, because like, I respect him for it in a sense, because it is like, he paved the way, but at the same time, it's the reason people can't even watch movies anymore, because there's all this content that is so obsessed with just keeping your attention every single second that you can't even just sit there and lay back and enjoy it, because everything is that. And if you condition people to that type of content, like if we're talking about like little kids, and that's his target base is kids. So if you do that over and over and over again, what are the long-term consequences of that? And I remember watching this video. It was it's called The Editing Podcast. It's on YouTube. And it's these people who have edited for MrBeast before, and they're explaining the formula in this way. And it's kind of maddening, because they're basically saying that if you don't adapt to this formula of capturing people's attention and hooking people, and it's got to be a good thumbnail, it's got to be a good everything, if you don't think like that, then you're going to fail. And that's how it is. And that's what they're telling you. And that's the advice they're giving you. And these are people who are like on the top of the food chain of YouTube. And so they're not even wrong. But it's maddening, because you shouldn't have to feel that way.
No.
And I think the only way you can get away with not doing it now is if you're already popular, or you already have this established base, because otherwise, how do you capture people's attention?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
How
I
could you possibly
literally
compete?
don't know.
Yeah.
It actually kind of drives me insane, because I think like MrBeast, of all people, he's like one of the few people you can actually pin the blame on, because he did do that. He kind of pushed it all that way. It was already going that way, and he just shoved it off the mountain.
Right. And you can always argue whenever there's things like that, right? A lot of the defense that tends to be, well, someone was going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Two things can be true at once. Someone was going to do it, and you were that person who did it. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like the nuclear bomb. It's the same thing.
It's like, okay, sure, but that doesn't absolve you of the actions that you took. You still decided to be a pioneer in that
Mr.
direction.
Beast is Oppenheimer. Mr. Beast is Oppenheimer.
Just saying. It's
Just
like,
imagining him like doing the monologue, like
Yeah.
I am become death and all that, because he did do it. He did do it.
Yeah.
You can't say, I mean, it's a whole argument with AI now too. That's what people say is, oh, well, someone's going to do it.
Someone was going to do it.
Yep.
These companies were all going to, well, we're going to be the company that's driving
Well, it's
AI
the
forward.
country.
Because, like, yeah,
they make it look
'cause
like
we're
it's
all
like,
doing
oh, if it's
it.
not China, it's us.
Right. Except that, like, China's going about it arguably in a better, more sustainable way. Like, they're...
With the energy consumption. I
Yeah,
think they're.
because-
I think they might be lying about that though.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, like,
I would be surprised
maybe
if it's
not
true.
as they report, but if what they're reporting is any indication, it seems that they're not letting real concerns about climate change and disaster on the horizon. They're not pretending like that's not a problem and just
Yeah.
kind of spearheading and going ahead with AI anyway. They're doing both. They're like focusing on solutions to looming problems, and they're kind of driving AI as a primary
I
thing.
hope you're right, because I remember when that came out, that report came out, and I just remember people, because it's like you don't know what's true, but I remember people saying that it's just physically impossible, and they're not presenting evidence. They're just saying it. They're just saying we have managed to do this, but there's not like, it's not like you can see the facility in which their
Okay,
AI
fair enough.
exists. At least that's my understanding.
Let's say we don't know anything
but I'm
about
saying,
the study.
I hope you're right.
But
I hope
how
you're right,
about
because
this?
we need that.
I'm happy. I would be happy if my own country at least pretended to care about it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's all bullshit. Maybe China is completely like pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. But goddamn it, at least they say that climate change is a problem that they're like thinking about.
You know how little that America cares about AI being like something that's bad is they made a law that is you can't make any state laws
You
against
can't
AI
regulate it at a state level.
for what, like 15 years or 10 years or something.
How
That is nuts.
Can that be?
That is the craziest. That's like saying if Terminator comes around, we still cannot legislate Terminator.
Yeah. Like,
That's
sorry,
literally what
that's
you're
the
saying.
law. You gotta follow the law,
Oh
guys.
my God.
Obey your new robot masters.
That's the craziest thing.
And it's like, wait. I understand progress and all that stuff, but regulation for this brand new, potentially world-shifting technology,
Yeah.
I think regulation can be on the table. We're talking about things that we have tons of media about going wrong.
Right.
This is the classic thing where humanity in all these stories goes, and then like shit hits the fan.
Right.
You know?
And I think it's all exponential, right? So the internet's like 100 years ago, compare that technology to now. Okay, 80 years ago. Okay, 60 years ago. Okay, 40 years ago. And it just keeps going faster and faster. And so I just think it's like the internet all over again. And it's so crazy to even think about. Like, imagine a world without internet. Now imagine a world with internet. Because that's like how AI works. We're currently in the in-between thing. We're not even all the way there yet. We're in this weird middle ground where it's not here yet. And you can't be inside any movie you want. You know?
Right. And
oh my
it's still
God.
not funny.
And it's still not funny.
AI is not funny.
And I think it's always fun to listen to someone say, oh, AI will never be able to be funny. I guarantee
I don't know if it'll
you,
never be able to. It's definitely not now.
I think you can prod it into being sort of funny. Like, one thing I've noticed, because it's all about prompting, like I've gotten it to do dark humor and actually make dark humor jokes that are sort of funny, but it took me so long. It was like, you have to say it just right, because if you say it in the wrong way, it'll say like something about a skeleton and bones, like a very not dark humor. And if you don't say dark humor, it'll just give you some like milquetoast joke.
Right.
So you have to find a way to like tonally shift it into the right direction. And I think that, I don't know. It's not that funny.
And at
nine
that point-
times out of 10, it's not funny. I would say that.
Yeah.
Not actually, probably 99
And at that
out
point,
of
you're
100.
giving me a tofu steak and saying, but I swear it tastes like meat. You know? No, it doesn't.
I
I
mean,
can smell it at this point still. I don't know.
I But that's now. That's now.
That's now.
Because
But
I think all of this, but then I do see people get fooled by AI. And now there's these videos on Instagram now too, where it'll be like an animal and it'll do something, and then the animal will flip you off, and you realize that it was AI. And it's, oh, dude, it keeps getting me. And then all the comments will be like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get scammed when I'm 85. I'm so gonna get
you're
scammed.
gonna get scammed in 4 years. You're gonna be scammed next week.
I know.
I've actually started getting nervous picking up the phone because when it's a number I don't recognize, I remember seeing some piece of advice that was like, you don't want to be so free with your voice. Like if you pick up and you're like, hello, that bit of your voice may be something they need for something. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't know at this point. You might not want to pick up calls that you don't know because...
I didn't even think about
like, you know,
that.
and that's kind of freaky. Like, what if they can... I actually don't know the limits of where we're at necessarily right now,
You
right?
can steal a voice. You can steal a voice
You
right
can steal
now.
a voice, and then, like, what? You call my grandma, maybe you have her number, and then you... Like, she knows the common scams. She knows the scams of, like, you know, someone in some country needs you to send a couple $100, whatever.
But what if it was
like,
you?
If it's my voice, my grandma's not equipped at all to question that. Her brain's not even going to hesitate. If it sounds anything like me and calling from a number that looks like it's me, right?
And you know the only way you could feel proof that is if you said to grandma, this is a code word.
Yeah, you need a code word. Code words are so important. My dad and mom had a code word for me growing up, like going to school. They were like, this is your code word. If someone shows up and says, you need to come with me, like your mom and dad said, I'm going to pick you up, they need to have this code word. And if you don't hear them say it, you do not leave with them.
Yeah.
And anyone we send to get you will have this code. We actually never ended up using it, but it was good to have. And it was
Right.
good to know just like what to do. And that's, you know, so I think we need to bring that back. Everyone
Code
should have a
words.
code word.
We have to bring them back.
You got to change it, I guess, every month or whatever. But
Yeah, but the AI's listening to us too.
yeah, but you can't, I guess you can't like text the code word. Like what if they have, yeah, we got to send letters.
You'd have to use Pig Latin.
Exactly. We're going to return to it.
Just put the code word in Pig Latin and then like also code wordify. There's probably a really good strategy you could use. Damn, it would be hard to outsmart AI. That'd be really hard.
It would.
God damn
I would
it.
love to actually, you know what makes me a little sad? I would love to know what my grandpa thought about AI. Like he passed before all this stuff came out and he worked for the NSA. He was actually the technical director of the NSA.
Whoa.
So he worked on like code making and breaking, which is super neat. And he was a really smart guy. He got Alzheimer's by the end, so he wasn't all there. But I would have really liked to know his take on all this AI stuff happening and like his security concerns with it, you know?
Well, a lot of the people that work in it say this is bad. So my guess would be it's bad.
Yeah.
It's my best guess. Because I think all the people that are the closest with it are always like, no, you don't understand. You think it's bad. It's actually 10 times worse than you think it is.
Like, then stop working on it.
It's already alive. That's what they're saying. Half of them are saying that. They're saying this is already alive, and you just don't know what alive is. It's so
got
crazy.
so wrapped up in wondering what we could do. We didn't stop to wonder if we should.
I just saw Jurassic Park for the first time, like 2 weeks ago, and I never knew that was from that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a poignant line.
It's a very poignant line. I mean, I think it's as simple as like, it makes me think about like, if you're a scientist, right? If you're somebody who wants to push the world farther, you never have a limit. You never understand what is the spot to stop. That's why AI is going to keep going. It's the same thing. It's always, how can we make this better? How can we do this more?
Push.
And you never, ever, ever have that normal person thought of like, well, what if this?
What if?
I mean, what? Joe Rogan just had that one guy on his podcast, the direwolf guy, and I hadn't heard about it before that. Do you know anything about this? So they're trying to bring back direwolves. It's literally the plot of Jurassic Park. They're trying to bring back direwolves, and they've brought back a couple already.
Like the apex predator?
It's a certain type of wolf that died out, and I don't know. I think the whole controversy now is, do you reintroduce it into wildlife in a certain area, or do you keep them in captivity? It's so crazy because
Can they work on the bees? I think the bees are a problem, right? Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a big lobbying group for dire wolves, But I think there's species that might need that help a little bit more
Like
now.
just introduce more bees. Well, this is the big thing about it all, though, is like it's kind of a philosophical question of, are you even supposed to reintroduce a species? Like, at what point are you playing nature and then you're going to have consequences that you can't even imagine now? I mean, obviously, that's the thing with dire wolves and reintroducing a species that went extinct. But I would wonder if that's even something with a species that's going extinct now. Like, maybe if you try to put more bees into the population, all of a sudden it changes 10 other things you wouldn't have even guessed.
Well,
But I could be completely wrong.
no, I mean, it's a good moral question. There's also a larger moral question of like, if you, through your species' actions, cause the extinction of all of these groups, are you morally responsible, if you can, to put them back?
How many bees do we kill? I don't know how we killed the bees.
Oh, well, like, I mean, there's still some bees.
Oh,
I'm
it's 'cause
talking about
we've-
like in general of like extinction and
Right.
like humans definitely causing a
Like
lot of
destroying
that.
rainforests and shit.
Like, are we supposed to put it back, or like is that taking it a step worse? Are we gonna?
I think you're right. Actually, you're right. That's a great point. Is we did kind of do that in the first place.
So it's kind of like, okay,
We already
maybe
kind of did
now
it.
it's like both things might be irresponsible. I mean, irresponsible to like you said, almost like play nature or God.
But we
like,
already did by
but like we already
destroying it.
kind of did. So it's like, well, then what's the right thing? We're already in morally questionable or bad
we're just
territory.
fucked.
Yeah, we should really like just rewind a while.
Because I don't think either are good. Like, I really think if you just try to put a bunch of bees out there, oh my God, can you imagine? You put too many bees out and
Well,
all of a
maybe
sudden you
like
step
don't
outside.
put too many bees.
You get stung all the time.
But bees are really important for pollinating, and
Yep.
you know, we need bees. We need bees for food.
Yeah. I mean, bees are also pretty cool. I mean, I don't even think bees are that bad. I think bees are kind of like most animals, where it's just they get a bad rep because they hurt you sometimes. But for the most part, like, there's like beekeepers who get along with
Yeah.
bees and don't get stung. So that's kind of proof that you can tame a bee.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
and
get
they have
along with a bee.
tools, right? You know, like they're
Yeah.
using smoke and everything to calm them down. But bees are also, they're not wasps, you know, like they're stinging you and they're dying for it. That's pretty metal. Wasps are just bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just live to screw up people's days. But no, I do think the bees, there's a loss of insects in general. There's a lot of population loss for insects, and that does not spell good things, because they are,
Isn't it like a third of the insects? Some crazy
it's like a
number.
big deal.
In the last so many years.
Yeah, we have just plummeted, and it's a huge food source I mean, like it's a base component of our ecosystems, so it's a problem. And we were supposed to like end up starting to eat bugs. You remember, like in the 2010s and stuff, people were like, oh, maybe the way that we raise livestock for eating is like really unsustainable. This is really bad. Like, it's producing a lot of problems, and you know, maybe we need to look at smaller protein sources like insects. People are talking about like eating bugs a lot. It's going to be like a paste that's mixed into all this stuff. If we run out of bugs and our methods of raising protein are not great, like we're kind of running out of stuff to eat.
Maybe we'll eat each other.
Ooh,
Maybe.
classic.
That would be cool.
Return,
Zombies.
return to form. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get all the like
zombies.
prions.
I think that's like, I was just seeing something just like a day or two ago, and it was a guy saying that there's no way we're going to have a civil war until we can't have food and we can't have all these things. And I actually thought that was a really good point. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. We're not going to have a civil war until we literally can't go to the store and we have to eat each other.
Bread and circuses. Bread and circuses. That's
Oh, what are you talking about?
the Roman idea. It was during times of like, if you need the population to stay pretty calm and happy-ish,
Right.
you need to make sure that the peons or whatever have bread and circuses.
Oh.
They've got entertainment and their stomachs are full. They're not gonna revolt.
Wow.
Right? And I think in the US we have plenty of circuses. Our entertainment industry is super strong. There's so many distractions to keep us not looking at our problems in life. Those tend to be a little bit less distracting, though, when there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, you can be pulled away. But it's true. As soon as you get food going away, that's the problem. If people can't put food on the table, you will, because animals backed into a corner get desperate. If you can't survive anymore, you'll do anything.
Right.
And there's a lot of problems in America, but starvation is not one of them.
Yeah.
That is not like a leading cause of death for any group. And so we don't really know what our population looks like when a significant part of it is starving. And
well, there's the depression, but I don't even think they didn't get to that, did it?
well, I meant like nowadays, like no one's really dying from starvation. They're dying from other issues, but
they're dying from overeating more than undereating.
Right. Or like malnutrition, like they're not getting the right nutrients, but it's not like usually the quantity of food. There are so many, again, other issues going on in America, but like death by starvation is not typically how someone dies in the U.S. We talked a little bit. I minored in food studies.
Oh.
So we talked about those things, and there's so many issues with our food systems, and I am by no means saying that people in the U.S. as a whole get the right nutrition and food that they need. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But it's not usually about a complete lack of food. It's a lack of healthy, fresh, easy to obtain food.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When I eat vegetables, I'm like, whoa, I feel amazing. I feel like when I eat vegetables, my body has this weird type of energy that it doesn't have when I don't eat vegetables.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 100%. Like,
I mean, obviously,
so good.
I say that because obviously that's just true, but it's so crazy how true it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you feel it personally, you're like, whoa. Like sometimes people tell me I don't drink water. Sometimes people say, I've heard from two of my friends now, they've said to me, my doctor told me I have to drink water or I'm going to die. They literally, two people have said to me that exact sentence. And I just remember,
not like water?
They don't drink it. They drink soda all day. They don't drink water. They consider the other liquids to be the same.
Well,
I'm telling you, this is actually how they think.
That just made me thirsty.
Like, it is actually mind-boggling to me that someone could go 40 years of their life not drinking water.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're exaggerating. But really, for the most part, no, they're not exaggerating. Like, they probably drink water maybe once a week or so.
Which is wild, because your body really craves that. It
is
great
your body.
with water.
Your body's made of water.
You need it. It really wants it a lot.
I mean, that's one of the most insane things to me. And that's also physically impossible in the past. You just would not have done that.
Right.
So it's such a sign of the times that someone would even think in such a way. I'm a little biased because in middle school, I would carry around a 2-liter of Mountain Dew every day.
You were that.
I was that kid.
Guy.
And no one ever told me, like, they would obviously say things, but no one ever told me, like, hey, stop doing that.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just think about those days, and I don't think I could ever return. Like, soda is a completely different thing to me now. And it blows my mind that you could just only drink that.
Yeah.
But I do kind of sort of understand. It's kind of like Mountain Dew is like crack.
Totally.
It is.
It's
carry around a 2-liter every day. It's like crack.
You drank that every day?
It was warm, too.
Why is that so much worse?
I can't keep it cold. I'm going to carry on a cooler all day.
Man.
So, yeah, I did. I drank it all day.
Tepid Mountain Dew.
Tepid is a good word, yes. Very tepid and lukewarm.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
Hey.
I mean, it's
do what you got to do.
It actually just blows my mind. Like, I appreciate the freedom that my mother gave me and my parents gave me, but I'm also just shocked at the same time. Because if it was my child now, I think I would definitely like pull the kid. I wouldn't like force it away from the kid, but I'd pull the kid aside a lot. And I would say like, hey, you don't understand. Like, you don't get it. This is so much worse than you think it is.
I was not allowed to have anything but water and milk for dinner.
That's good. That's good.
Not mixed together. Like, those are the two options.
Water and milk. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, and milk to me is awesome. I'm a fiend for milk right now.
Like regular, like you drink like milk. I have to drink Lactaid, honestly.
Aww.
I'm not even lactose intolerant. I'm cautious.
So what like do you have a reaction when you drink milk?
I have a milk threshold. I have a dairy threshold, and like I have like my daily amount that I'm fine no matter what. If I stay under that, if I go over it though, then like there's problems. And I think a lot of people are probably like that.
I think everyone's like that.
Humans are not really built to digest lactose.
And I think it's an age thing too. Everybody always seems to age out of milk for the most part. I think some people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like everyone is lactose. It's a spectrum.
It is. It is. And I don't like to take, like, I don't want to like use up my daily amount on just like a glass of milk. So I'll like reduce dairy in every way I can so that I can have whatever dairy might come my way that day.
Wow. That's responsible of you.
I think way too much about it, I guess.
I
hearing.
endlessly consume dairy, and then I'm like, oh, why do I feel like this?
That's why I was like, so I used to like have 2 bowls of cereal every morning for breakfast.
That's
for
me
10
now.
years, I was like, why does everything hurt always? You know, like why from the moment I have breakfast to the moment I go to bed, why do I feel awful? And then I was like, oh, maybe it's the like 4 cups of milk I'm drinking in the morning to start my day. So yeah.
I mean, I am a lunatic. I think I'll have like 2 lattes a day if I can with the milk.
Damn.
And then I'll have a couple glasses of milk if I can. And then I might drink some milk at night too.
That's a dairy assault on your body, dude. Like that is crazy.
I think I could drink a gallon of milk in 2 days, 3 days.
You could bring it around. It could get tepid.
Yeah, I should start carrying it around. At least I would if it was the small milk. I wouldn't mind carrying. Wouldn't mind drinking a little bit of warm milk, but not a big thing of warm milk.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think it was my friend Tim. He said to me like, "Oh, you could do like a milk chug for a show," and I said to him, "I would never chug milk before performing.
No,
I would chug milk,
and it's not good for you. You could die.
Can you die?
You can die from drinking because there was, I think, a challenge when I was a kid of like drinking a gallon of milk in an hour or something. You can make your stomach explode. It cannot take all that liquid sometimes.
Oh,
yeah, it's bad.
Maybe I shouldn't. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
I could have done it. I could have if you had never said that to me.
You could have died of that, and then I'd be like, "Wow, I really could have I should have told him. I was keeping that in."
That would suck if you die from drinking milk. That's got to be one of the worst ways to die.
Terrible.
Ruse, host of Ruse Radio, died drinking milk. That'd be the worst. Also, all the times on record that I had said I loved milk would just hammer
then
it in.
Then it would just be like, an epic clip afterwards of being like, oh my God, it really was coming for him. Like he fully ran into his death right there.
It's so funny. It's foreshadowing. I love milk so much.
You know, it's like the snail that like is always chasing you. Do you remember when the snail was always chasing you online or something? There was like that joke, and it was like you never know where, like, because what was it? It was like,
I think I know.
Accept like $1 million, but there's a snail that will always be following you, and if it catches up with you, you die. Like that's the bargain.
Mm-mm.
Anyway,
can't do it.
The milk is your snail.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, explain.
Because like you are constantly like, I think the joke, this is so much harder than if you had known what it was. But like the joke is that you're always like looking over your shoulder and the snail's like there and you're like, oh, gotta go. Because it's like slow, but it's gonna catch up if you don't move. So
I get it now. Yeah. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
And so the milk is my snail. So I'm like, no,
we got there.
The milk's gonna get me. There. The milk's gonna get me. Wow, that is scary.
Just don't mainline it, you know? You look so tempted to do that. I think we heard it here first. That's gonna be what gets you.
I like milk so much. My dad really liked milk too, so I think it's genetic.
Oh no!
Like, I have seen him consume a lot of milk. This is hard for me right now because
it's a family burden.
I'm just. It's like
it's the curse.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to drink all the milk, son. You can't do it.
Sat me down one day.
Don't keep drinking.
That was their talk. Was the milk?
Yeah. You didn't get the like actual talk. They sat you down and they're like, son.
It's like, I know what you're going through, son.
Milk. Here's the thing.
You open the fridge and I know what you feel. It is like it is a struggle because, for one, moving to Chicago, milk's kind of expensive here.
Yeah.
I don't like that, and I don't want to travel to Aldi's to get milk.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing is, okay, I think part of it too is everyone has a different body. Everybody's different. I think I have a super fast metabolism.
Okay.
I really think
Okay.
I think the
Brag.
milk. It's a gift and a curse. I tell you, I can't gain weight. I can eat as much as I want. It's never going to happen. I don't think it's possible. I really don't. I think I would have to eat to the point of like passing out and feeling sick, and maybe then I still wouldn't gain weight.
Wow.
So I think maybe that's why I can consume so much milk.
Yeah. Honestly,
And I think too, it's like, you ever see those people who do hot dog competitions? It's always
Unfortunately, yeah.
like skinny white dudes.
Yeah.
Why? There's nobody who knows. And
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no. I think it's fast metabolism.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I think if there's just something
got,
going
like,
on.
A wood chip shredder in there and just like able to
And
do it.
Let me tell you, it sounds great. You don't want it because you just are always hungry. You never feel satiated. I think that's how I feel. Like, I never truly feel like I actually ate the amount I was supposed to eat. And when I do, it lasts about like 2 hours and then it's over. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably eat more. It's crazy. I love pasta.
Can I be you? I mean, that sounds.
I'm telling
great.
you think it sounds good.
Yeah.
I want your problems. You think you want my problems, I want your problems. That's what I'm telling you.
My problem is I like food, I eat it, and then I go, oh. Because I do what you do. I just don't have an excuse or a body that can take that.
No. But I have to. I will get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm going to pass out. I have to eat something or I'm going to pass out because it's already gone. It went through me so fast.
You make a good point.
That sucks. I think that is like, and of course it's probably because I drink coffee all day. That's probably part of it. But still, it is true that like, I really think if you just if you got a wood chipper in your stomach, how the fuck do you have like a normal diet? It's impossible.
Right. And you have to spend so much money on food. Like, I just spend money on food because I like to spend money on food, but you have to. That sucks. I'm
You
sorry.
get it now. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now you understand because people think us skinny people have no problems. They always look at us and they think, oh, it'd be so nice to be you.
I'm here, I'm listening. Telling me about your problems.
I am telling you, it's not easy. It's not easy. I have to, like, I started running recently. I realized I have to run because if I run, if I feel busy, like, it makes it so I think it, like, the recycling machine that is my body is more in tune with itself. I'm telling you,
it's like when people, you know, they say like they can hold a lot of liquor and it's like, oh, that sounds like good for you, and they're like, actually I have to like spend so much money to even like feel anything. It's like, yeah.
It is the same. Yes, it's exactly the same. I mean, every gift is a curse. I really try to think of life in such a way. I think like I liken it to every girl with straight hair wishes they were a girl with curly hair.
Sure.
Every girl with curly hair wishes they were a girl with straight hair. Because either way, you want the other one.
Of course.
It's
Grass
literally
is always
just,
greener.
yeah. And so yeah. I mean,
will
sometimes
say-
I wish I was fat. I tell you, I've literally said for a long time as a joke, and I sort of mean it. I'm going to get fat one day. It's a life goal of mine. It's a life goal that I'm going to get fat. And I sort of mean it.
Hell yeah.
It's like, I don't even think if I was acting in a role, I could gain 60 pounds and like for like the movie thing. I don't think I could do it.
Dang.
And I've heard Christian Bale say, oh, you just got to eat a bunch of cheeseburgers. Bullshit. That's not true.
Yeah. Oh, I will say though, the thing I think I maybe in my little anecdotal experience, I've noticed a shift because I used to think that same thing is true of like comparison was always being made and people wanted the other thing for like chest sizes for girls because like it's a thing, right, where having really like a really big chest was, you know, you would assume people wanted that. But I think we've had so much discourse about how much that really hurts your back and how annoying it is to live with like melons attached to you
Right.
that like
Can never buy bras.
we've actually gotten to a point where I think there's more accepting and like more celebrating just having whatever size you have because it's such an underappreciated thing to not have pain from that. Like dude, like
Only those who know.
everyone who's had a surgery to like help that and like reduce them, their life has changed into this amazing like blossoming thing. Like they're like, I wish I'd done this 5 years ago.
Yeah. I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. Any body surgery scares me at all.
Sure.
So just hearing that's kind of scary to me. But also, like, yeah, I can't. Like, I physically can't even imagine. I mean, no one can. Only those who know. Literally, only those who know can know. Like, okay. So I'm trying to imagine. I think I would have to have, the only dude who knows, I think, is Steve-O. Because Steve-O had boobs. Did you see this? He had breast implants. And he gave himself boobs for like a year to go on tour. So I think actually he might know. He might be the only like guy who's never actually transitioned that could tell you what it's like to have boobs.
Damn.
Because I don't think it's like I could never tell you. I really don't. I can't even, like, big. I'm talking big because Steve-O got big ones. That was part of the thing, is he got large breasts.
Yeah.
I think the idea was he could be top. Only Steve-O would do such a thing. I can't even imagine any. Oh, you know who else did that? That school teacher. Do you remember that? That was like, it was, I think they were a troll, and that was the whole move they were making, but they got comically large breasts.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, it's wild. It's like South Park. It's really out of South Park because it's like I think when they explained it, they were trolling. So it's not like they had the ideology of someone who was transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to protest that. And so they got comically large breasts. And then that was the news story is, oh, I don't want my kids at this school with this person with these these comically large breasts that I think is a man. But then the person who's doing it is actually trying to troll those, like he's trying to make a point. It's straight out of a cartoon. It's it's so crazy because how I described it is exactly what it was.
We live in an alternate reality.
And if you see the photo of the guy, it really does look absurd. So you could tell. But again, these are the only two people I can think of who got like radically large breasts that could probably tell you the pain to carry those breasts.
It's
I don't know.
terrible.
I think I'd have to wear a vest for a year to even understand. I think that's the only way you could really know.
Yeah. And so life is like better. Like I went in for a consultation to do the reduction. I have a bit about this because it was really weird. I was like 18 or 19 and like you have to take your shirt off in front of the plastic surgeon, obviously. And I did. And his comment was, I've seen bigger. I was like, ew. And like in a medical context or like, what do you mean? Like, you don't get to say that's so weird.
What does that mean?
And also, I was
that's really the question is, what does he mean?
I didn't say I'm here to contest the world record.
Yeah.
I said, help. Like, please. They're pretty big. Like,
imagine being a guy and pulling your pants down for a what do you call those? A physical? Mm-hmm. I've seen bigger.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing to say as a doctor.
you don't have to voice every thought, you know? I don't think your musings are covered by my insurance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I think Joe Kilgallen had a thing where he, like, it was it's a joke where he went and got a physical and the evaluation for his penis was fair, and he was saying to his wife how he was upset about that, and then like she had said, no, that doesn't mean like
fair.
Large or small, it's just that means like healthy or not healthy.
That's so funny. He was like, no, they mean like 4 out of 10. It's not fair.
Yeah, because it is like funny, the idea of them evaluating your penis.
Yeah.
That is kind of, they're not supposed to do it out loud.
Right.
They're not supposed to say it. I think that was probably their passive aggressive way of saying like, you're not a triple D, like that's the person I'm used to seeing come in.
I was an H at that point. So I was like,
damn.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm your target client.
Yeah.
Because and he was like, actually, those are probably going to get bigger. I said, what? Are you the bad news bears right now? Like, what? This sucks. And he was like, I also won't operate on you because they're probably going to get bigger. I was like, oh, shit. So he was like, my advice, just try to lose a lot of weight and see if that works. And I was like, cool. And then screw that guy because it worked.
Oh,
like,
it went fine?
I hate him for that because I didn't have to get the surgery. But yeah.
Oh, what he said was right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Screw you. You were totally correct, but I hate
fuck
you.
You and your proper medical advice, asshole. Yeah, but that is interesting because I don't even think about it that way. So when you exercise, it probably would make that weight properly distribute throughout your body, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like weight loss is weight loss, right? Like you're losing fat from somewhere in your body, and maybe it's equal. Maybe like it's kind of like a crapshoot, and you don't know where you're gonna lose it from. Some people lose weight, and none of it comes from their chest. For me, I was lucky enough that like all of it came from my chest. Like that was the thing that shrunk, and I was like, okay, cool. Like that saved my life a little bit. It was super painful before.
Huh. And you couldn't do that when you're older, too. It could probably only be when you're in the development. Like,
to do the surgery?
No,
or to do that,
to
like,
affect
yeah,
the growth.
Totally.
Can you imagine like being an adult and just eating too much and it all goes to
well,
your
yeah.
breasts? You have to change bra sizes all the time. That'd be a terrible life.
And actually, I did kind of like, I think it was like my early 20s when I did that. So actually, I was kind of like done developing, which made it maybe a little bit easier. But yeah, man, it was, everything's better now.
I can't even imagine that. That would be wild. That would be crazy. And he told you they were going to keep going?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
I was like, oh.
Whoa. So my mom's always had big breasts, and I've always witnessed this, and I've always just thought like, damn, that must kind of suck for her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
In the back of my mind.
Mine too. And what was crazy is like, I thought we would kind of like commiserate about it together. Cause like, you know, mine were super big, hers were super big, hers were even bigger than mine. And I was telling her, I'm like, hey mom, like, don't you feel this pain? Like this kind of sucks. I'm really thinking about this surgery. She freaked out on me.
She's thinking it's a way of life thing.
Well, she said you need to go to a psychiatrist and get like mentally evaluated because you have like, that's a mental issue. Like if you're looking in the mirror and you have a problem with that, like that's mental. I'm like, no. I look great. I didn't say I looked in the mirror and didn't like how I look. A. B, I'm saying it hurts physically. It's not a mental issue. Don't you feel it? She's like, no, I just don't see why you'd want that. So she really, really opposed it and was like, actually, we will not let you use our insurance for that surgery. So that was another reason. So I was already not facing good odds of getting it. And then I was like, fine, I'm going to take things into my own hands. And then.
Yeah. I mean, my mom also thinks that, like my mom's like one of those people who doesn't think medicine's really good most of the time. Like most of the time you should avoid affecting your natural body. You shouldn't do those things. So yeah, I think that would be in my mind the best, most graceful interpretation of your mom saying that would be hopefully she just thinks that you should live in your own body and figure it out. That's how most people that are older tend to think. Like it's obviously a generational thing. I think I think that the younger you are, and maybe it's even just an age thing. Like maybe it's just you get older and you start to think, I don't know. Because I remember when like Tom Cruise had that, and everybody called him crazy in the early 2000s. He came around and said, you know, all medicine is bad, and that was a radical belief. And then now, if you were to say such a thing, it doesn't sound as crazy as it did.
You gain like 2,000 followers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's crazy how that works, but it's a nuanced thing. I think America over medicates and America over indulges in all these things, and so it gets a bad rep. But of course, if you're like facing an actual and that's the problem is if you go to say to somebody, "Hey, I'm facing this thing that's not going well," they're not hearing what you're actually saying. Yeah. They're hearing their version of what you're saying, which is, I want to change myself.
Totally.
And she's thinking, why would you want to change yourself? What's wrong with you?
As a mom who carried me, right? Yeah. She's thinking this like person that I helped create wants to go
and also
under
she
the
wouldn't
knife.
have done that herself, so she's thinking in my mind,
if I wouldn't, and she has bigger ones than me, if she wouldn't, then why would I, right?
But it's like a failure of communication, because I feel like those people don't even really understand, like what you're saying is something completely different. It's not like I don't feel comfortable, it's like, well, it is I don't feel comfortable, but physically not mentally.
This hurts.
Yeah. Which again, like if I had giant lumps on my body,
I was just like, I don't even want the lumps gone. I just want smaller lumps.
Smaller lumps, yeah.
Can we do that? And then actually what was crazy is I was thinking about it recently a little bit more. And I do understand, like, even though I don't see eye to eye with her, and my dad actually felt the same way as her about this. I was like, I don't see eye to eye with you, but maybe I kind of get it. And then I was like, whoa, I'm not trans. But like, let's say that conversation had been like about me wanting to transition, and like you were really, really kind of aggressively against even what I wanted to do, which was just a reduction, nothing about anything more than that. I'm like, that wouldn't have gone well with you guys if I had happened to be trans. And that kind of like was a weird realization for me of like, my parents do seem open-minded about a lot of things, but that would have been something I would have come up against.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough thing because I think that if you disagree with the choice of your child, there's a certain amount of grace that one should have. So it doesn't matter whether you agree or not. It's just a matter of like good parenting, or I don't even want to say bad, but you know, it's just like, and I understand both sides. Like there's a certain amount of permissiveness you should have, and there's a certain amount of authoritative whatever you should have. You should be authoritarian at times. You should be permissive at times, because you can't be too much of either.
Right.
But I think like it's like my general rule of like with people is like I don't really even care if you agree with me or not. And I think that's why social media is so terrible, because it fosters this environment where everybody's on a soapbox, where in real life that's not the case. So like most of the time everybody just gets along as long as you are nice and you are understanding and you are agreeable enough.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's really it. And like you can disagree, you just have to be nice about it. It's that simple. And I think parenting is this impossible job, and so that's where you run into that, right? It's like, how do you disagree with your child but also
about
like
something that
be
big?
agreeable?
Yeah.
And even if say you want to be a good parent, you want to guide them in the right direction, how do you do that? Because you can't just outwardly disagree. Like if I were to say, if my kid came out as gay and I'm against that, and I just say, oh, I hate you, well, now I'm never, ever, ever, ever gonna ever get through to them on anything.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am now. Whereas if I disagree with them, but I said to them, even if I said, I don't agree with that, but I still love you and I understand you, that is 10 million times better than rejecting them. And so it's just, yeah, that's but I think parenting is the hardest job anybody could have ever. So I try to have grace with all my parents out there. I've never been a parent, and I feel bad for all of them because what a nightmare. But yeah, I do think there's it's a very tough thing to because if you outwardly reject something, but you can't outwardly reject it.
I think it's kind of there's not too many absolutely objective rules about parenting, right? Because there's so many different cultures and so many ways to do it, and there's so many different arguments about like what's the right way to raise a kid. Everyone disagrees. But I believe that one of the pretty objective rules of parenting is that if nothing else, you're responsible for not completely discarding your child when they tell you something like that. Like,
right, because you're trying to foster an identity within them.
You've undertaken this journey. You've decided to bring life into the world. Okay. You, by doing that, have, to me, I think that means you're accepting them as they turn out, because you have no ability to decide how they turn out. You're rolling the dice with the combination that you get and who you produce. You don't get to reject them for that.
And I think people with more than one kid always realize that, because like you raise the kid the exact same way and it turns out different. So there's really no rhyme or reason to any of it. There really isn't. I mean, it's crazy. And again, like that's the gamble of having kids, of having anything.
Yeah,
Oh my
totally.
God.
And like, honestly, in certain ways, a similar thing with marriage, right? In terms of like, that's a more formal agreement of like, you're like, I'm, in sickness and health or whatever with you. It's like, I think, isn't creating a kid equally, if not more so, like affecting you and your life and the world? It's like, so you are kind of making an implicit contract with that person of like, I'm,
And that's why it's such a shame that, I mean, what is it? Like the poorest, most incapable people of taking care of kids are the people who have the most kids. And so you see, I mean, that is like the sad cycle of childbearing, is the richest people have the least amount of kids, and the people who are the poorest have the most amount of kids. And the people with the most instability have the most amount of kids. And so it becomes this impossible situation where you can't look after all of them.
Right.
And it often is a person that you didn't expect it to be with, that you just ended up with. And now that agreement is not sacred.
Yeah.
And it becomes this total chaotic environment. It's a story as old as time. It just never ends.
That's a failure of our society, our government, to me. Like, I think
so, yeah.
that if we want to call, like, all these terms are problematic when you say like a civilized or like progressive society, but like I would think that we'd want to live, if we want to live in a place where celebrating like and like growing the population is something you want to do, then there should be supports in place for people who do it. Like, you need to have like affordable childcare options. You need to have maternal and paternal leave. You need to have really, really good tax incentives and breaks for people who have kids. You need to incentivize and provide a supportive network for people to pursue that. Or else what you do is you get people stuck in these cycles of, like, what do you mean? If you have a bunch of kids, like, that mean in the US you should be able to be supported and like feed all those kids and do all of that with the help of the government, because you are ultimately producing more citizens, more workers for the economy. Like, you're doing some people have to have kids if you want to continue the country, right?
Yeah.
So you're in part like helping with that. So the state should be helping you too.
Yeah.
If there's not enough support out there, and there isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing also is this is all tied with like, teaching about safe sex and birth control and like actual good sex education in schools, because I don't think we can say that everyone who has every kid that they have right now necessarily was given all the tools to make fully informed decisions about like the kids that they wanted. There's definitely people who still end up in situations that maybe they wouldn't have wanted. And so
that's most people. I mean, I really think, like, they won't admit it, but like most first kids are not planned. It's the way of the world. If you're the first child, this might be news to you, but you probably were not planned. Right. And it's more like safe sex is a good point, because that's how you don't get there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Always think to yourself, anytime, just think, is this someone I would want to spend the rest of my life with? Because that's literally what you're doing.
Totally.
It is. That really is. I've seen it happen over and over again in my family. I've seen that happen where it's like, oh, I guess I'm having kids now, and you just wind up with somebody,
which is a terrifying. And like, I can only speak personally. I don't want to speak for anyone, but that's a terrifying concept to me of like, I guess I'll have a kid. That is a enormous responsibility and undertaking that I would not be able to take lightly.
Right. Well, and also like, again, if it's not someone that you like had planned this with, it's some rando. That's completely different too. Even if it's like someone you don't really know, someone you know but you don't really know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree 100%, because what a nightmare. And sometimes it's actually good. I'll also caveat that with sometimes it pushes people into the place they need to be in, even though those circumstances are out of nowhere. Sometimes that's actually exactly what I needed to have a kid, and that changed my life. You'll hear that too. So it goes both ways, where sometimes that sudden change actually was good, but yeah, it's the things that happen when you just wind up with someone, and you also, now you're both responsible for a living being. So it's like not a game anymore. It's not fun anymore. Now it's completely different. And I also think that's probably, if you don't really like somebody, that's a great way to grow it, to hate them, is to have a kid with them.
Oh my God, don't have a kid to save a relationship ever. And
never.
I think also I really enjoy about my life not having children is that there's, for almost every undertaking that I have, there is an off ramp, right? I have an exit if I really need to get out of a situation. If I have a job that I don't really enjoy, I have the ability to leave and find another position that I really want. If I have an apartment that I end up not really wanting, I can move cities. There's a lot of freedom. Once you have a kid, you have a kid. Like, barring other kind of, maybe if you give it up for adoption, but like, maybe like 2-3 years in, it's not like you can just be like, nah.
Yeah.
And so that idea of potentially regretting that is like really scary to me. And maybe I'll wonder for a while, like, oh, what would it have been like? And maybe I'll change my mind later. I'm not like, cemented into this, but I would never want to feel that of being like, kind of wish I hadn't had kids, and I've had people like break down and confess to me that they wish they could go back and undo it all, which is really like freaky. Like, honestly, to like see someone with a family being like, I wouldn't do it. Don't do it.
There was somebody who helped me a lot with my musical career, and it was my girlfriend's dad. And he like gave me all this equipment. Like, he was the first person who really showed me, you should use this to record, you shouldn't use this, and this is the type of, he literally gave me stuff. And he was in a band who worked with Butch Vig, who produced a few like really popular Nirvana records when they were big. So like
really cool.
They were on the cusp of doing something. And I remember like the way he would talk about that, it was like saying without saying, like,
before
you are doing the thing that I was doing, and then I had a family and it's ruined it and I couldn't do it anymore. So, and I feel like he was almost helping me, vicariously living through me, because he had to stop doing that. And it's just crazy to think about, because that's also my girlfriend's dad.
Right.
So he's basically saying your girlfriend was the thing that stopped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it is a wild thing. And also I should say that I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. So me and my younger sister are the 2, and everybody else is older, right? So everybody else had a child around 18 to 20. So I've seen that happen over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so when you say to me like that freedom, I've talked to my mom, and like moving here, I remember my mom saying that to me, or something along those lines of like, wow, it'd be weird to not have, like, I was never in my 20s and didn't have kids. Like, I've never lived like that. Like, she never could have just moved.
Yeah.
That was never an option, ever.
Right.
Because her life was so codependent ever since she was 18 years old. And that's nuts for me to think about.
Crazy.
Because I value those things so much. I value my solitude more than anything. Like, I need it. And I can't imagine if, like, constantly there was this other thing that I had to constantly think about and I was responsible for. I just can't imagine it. And I also think that's good. I also think that having kids is good for your mental health overall, and it's what life is all about. And I really think it's important, and it is great, but I can't imagine having them.
Yeah.
I just can't.
And there's other
I couldn't
roles
imagine
in society.
pursuing my dreams and also having kids.
There's other, and like in a tribe, right? If we think about like I don't know if ideal, but like the living situation that our brains and bodies are most suited for, which is small living communities, right? Of like tribes.
I think it's like 50 to 100, like is the number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like small, but like you know everyone. The faces are familiar. You know people. You've grown up with these people. It's not everyone's having kids,
No.
There's different roles to play. There's the storyteller, there's the, entertainer, there's people who help raise children but don't have children. That's a role, like, because the whole saying of it takes a village to raise a child, it's like we did used to actually do that. It was more of a communal thing, and everyone kind of helped in education, in like taking on the burden of kids so that other things could be accomplished. It was more of a group thing. Yeah,
that is weird. Now kids are raised by the internet instead of villages,
which is definitely a downgrade.
Whoa, I never thought about that ever. That's crazy to think about. Like, before it was actually a community, and that would make you a human. Because parents can't do all the work.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that school, much as I hated school, like I did well in school, but I just didn't like the concept of it. I never enjoyed going to school because I didn't think it was necessary
Yeah.
in my mind. I'm like,
Right.
there's a better way to do this. I always thought that. But I've always appreciated the socialization that was provided to me through school.
Really important.
It's irreplicable. I needed that more than anything. If I didn't have that,
Humans turn out weird when they don't get socialized.
I mean, did you ever see the thing where it was I think her name's Lucy, and she was locked in a room from when so that's like the only example I think hopefully the only example we'll ever get of that type of depravity, because depravity from society, like just being locked away. Because depravity, what's the word I'm looking for? Isolation from society, I suppose. Because it's like, if you there's no humane way to test that. You can't take a life and then lock it away and see what happens.
Right.
But that's what happened to this person.
Totally.
And so you take them out, and all of a sudden they can't even walk properly. They can't even communicate thoughts properly. And that's what happens to a human mind if you don't socialize.
We are
it.
social creatures through and through.
That is just nuts. I mean, like, to think that if you didn't socialize us, we would just be a potato is crazy.
I mean, that's why we're powerful.
Yeah.
We aren't powerful because the individual human is so mighty. We're not. We're actually pretty easy to take down as a single human. If you get a group of humans running down a deer with spears, suddenly we're a lot more formidable. Like, our power is grouping up, groupthink, community, and building and making a thing that's greater than the sum of its parts. That is what we are.
Yeah. If only that was how most people thought. I think
we've strayed so far from that, especially here. We're very individualistic, which is...
Here meaning America?
Yeah. I mean, like, the West in general has a problem with that.
I think, that's like Western philosophy. I mean, that's kind of the... Western philosophy is more about this versus that, whereas Eastern philosophy is more about the whole. I mean, that's kind of the gist of it.
We're like, I own this land. And the earth is like, okay, sure. Draw your little lines.
I mean, I just feel like, it's crazy to think that. I think it's sad, truly. I think, like, the one thing religion does better than anything is it does instill in your brain an idea of a greater good. And that is, and I think what you can observe from the Renaissance forward, it's like why Nietzsche said, God is dead, and we killed him, or something like God is dead. There's an extension to the quote, but God is dead is all you really need to know. And that's what he meant, is that by getting rid of religion and criticizing these institutions, like, the institutions were bad, but by getting rid of it entirely, we're going into uncharted territory.
Totally.
Because we we don't, like, I feel like science has become its own form of religion, because everybody's craving that thing is still in you, that want to understand. But if it doesn't have solid rules, then what is morale? It all becomes moral. So it's crazy, because I don't think we think as a community. I think we think as individuals. And
100%.
The only way you can urge people into thinking as a community is by urging people to do that, by leading by example. I don't think you can force them to do it.
No.
So it's
religion makes so much sense, though, as a tool.
I agree.
Especially early on. Like, it's like, you need something that everyone can tap into that is a useful tool to teach moral lessons, so that we as a group understand what we're cool with and what we're not. Like, we need to have structure, and you need to have some element of either hope or fear, sometimes both, of like what's going to happen if you don't or do follow these rules, right?
Exactly.
You need an external punishing or rewarding force, an idea of something greater than you, and then you need something to rally around, and that is going to be serving a lot of those needs. Like, you've got a community out of that. Now you've got music. Now you've got culture. Now there's a specific type of food that people tend to eat when they're at these gatherings. Then you got basically a mini society within a society. I think religion makes a lot of sense for humans and why we think the way we do, and like using that as it's been used as a tool to control people for sure. But it also, I don't think every religion has like malevolent, origins or anything. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it just drives me. I think people think of religion literally, and then you get into this dumb debate where it's like, it's not even meant to be thought of literally.
These are allegories. They're stories. It's teaching. It's about it's like Aesop's fables. I mean, and I speak kind of irreverently about it because I was raised Jewish, but just with like the culture part, like not super religiously. And then we also had some influence from my dad, like having like Christmas and stuff. So we had a little bit of both worlds. I think that as a guide for moral lessons, the holy texts have a lot of good stuff in them. They also have some wacky stuff in them.
Right.
And I think at a time when you needed people to understand, like, hey, these rules are rules. No murder, not good. If you got to tell people that, maybe, yeah, okay, have the rules. But I think, yeah, you get...
When we thought differently then
Yeah.
is the other thing to consider. Is like you had to turn it into a story and you had to do all that because that's the way it would be understood.
Oral
is
tradition.
Through allegory and through, like... making it a part of nature and explaining things and all that, like that is a way easier way to communicate it to people than if you're just going to say literally to them, hey,
Yeah.
this is what you should and shouldn't do.
Right.
Whereas now it's the opposite. Now everyone wants to say directly what it is, and it's the allegory that is the thing that is kind of overdone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you could have a new religion. I don't think another one's going to come around.
I don't know, but like maybe Mormonism's pretty recent.
Is it? How recent?
Mormonism's it's no, I want to say it was in 20th century.
Oh,
It's a
really?
20th century religion.
I
if
am a
I'm
fool.
not misinformed.
One of us is.
It's pretty new.
It's either me or you. Either way, that's crazy if it's that new.
If it's not 20th, it's no earlier than 19th.
Like the last 200 years.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, you know what? There's
She's a
probably
new
is
kid
new
on the
religions.
block.
There's always going to be new religions. I stand corrected. But still, like I think you can't predict a religion. You could never
Not
predict
necessarily.
which way we're, because I think that there's so.
The next one's probably going to be AI.
Yeah.
AI gods.
Oh God. Oh no.
Yeah.
AI Jesus.
AI Jesus.
Oh no. I can only imagine. That sounds so bad.
He's got like 6 fingers on each.
Yeah. And you know what? We'd have to praise him or we all die.
Right.
AI God would be the worst. And the thing is, AI God would be like, because
Oh, whoa. Dude, the idea that like we were created in God's own image, but AI would be created in like our image. Like, but then it would,
then we're God.
but then it's more powerful than us.
I'm confused.
You know?
So it's like we're God, but we make God, but then no, yeah, that's it. We're God, but we make God, but
created
then
our
God
God.
surpasses us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So it's like,
but that's the whole thing is like that's why it becomes a simulation theory question, because it's like, how do you know then if we can create God, how do we know we're not just some God that
if
created
you can create God, are you a God?
in a way? If you can create life, if that's your definition of God, but then it's like, well, are you created? Are you some AI creation, or are you real and we're just creating AI for the first time ever? And also, does that cycle just go on endlessly? Like,
right.
does
Did we
that
create
life
AI
create
within
life?
AI? Like, are we, how many down are we, you know?
When AI would create more AI, it just would.
Yeah.
So it's like the cycle of life. That is crazy. And that would make us, I don't know. I don't know if we're God or not.
I think
I think we are.
humans have always, I think we're so cute.
You think we're cute?
I think we've since the beginning we've been staring up at the stars and wondering until our brains hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that we're still doing that.
Yes.
But there's just more like complications and consequences to it now because we've technology and like our reach is so much further, and the damage we can do and the good we can do. That's the problem. Everything's become exponential in, you know, it used to be localized. You'd have like a crazy guy who invented, okay, everyone's got rocks that they throw. Then he invents the slingshot, and suddenly like that's going to cause ripples, right? But it's going to cause ripples not in a way that demolishes society. But now like our advancements are so much more impactful, and but like, I don't know. It's kind of freaky to me that like a cluster of people in this company can be making strides in a technology that is going to affect every single human. And they're not even being regulated. They're just
Yeah.
like sitting there going, like we can do whatever we want. We could be as evil as we want. And it turns out they're really evil. And like,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah.
It used to be just like you could banish some people if they were causing waves, and you could be like, town vote, you're out.
Right. Yeah, right.
But now we're just like, oh, you have all the money.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it only gets worse. Like, I really, with the money thing, I don't even know how that changes. And it's like you've had people saying forever now. I think Bernie Sanders was in 2016 saying this is the percent of people who have all the money, this is the percent of people who don't. And that's gotten like 10 times worse since he said that.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
No.
And there's just no argument for that. But the problem is, if you're the rich people who have all the money, it's very easy to then not change that. And so what do? It's like an impossible situation. I really don't know what you do. Like, I really don't know. It's kind of crazy because it makes me think, like, of course you can regulate it and try to pull it back, but I don't think I think if you try to regulate it, you'll never get anywhere because the people who actually have power are going to make it so you can't regulate it because that's what they've always done.
Right.
So what do?
Am I allowed to say what you do?
The world is going to burn down is my point. It's all going to burn down.
It's the billionaire's fault. The thing is, here's the thing. I'm serious about this. Like, you guys, you won the game, right? You got to where most people never get to. You could do anything you wanted. And what you wanted to do was take more. And like just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze.
Which is probably human nature.
Which,
to an extent.
Sure. Yeah, greed is
and that's why
very,
I think the
very
regulation
human
is
thing.
essential.
Totally. But like, you could have had your fun and kept a semi-functioning capitalist society that would have fed you for a lot longer and caused like less rumbles. And like, I'm telling you, bread and circuses, if you kept people mostly fed and you kept people mostly entertained, you could live your golden dream.
Yeah, like if there was no inflation moving from like the 60s onward, the 80s onward, if it was always the same and everybody could still afford everything, that's completely different.
If like a single income could support a family, like an entire family, and buy a house, you could have just kept riding that. But you didn't. You got greedier.
Right.
And you said, I could take more. They're laying down for me. They're not like rising up. I'm going to take more. And then they kept taking more until people literally are in this position of wondering, well, if I have nothing to lose and they have everything, and they're like gloating about it. That's the other thing. They're not being low key about it.
Right.
They are not shy about being like, we got all of it and it's pretty great. And it's like, if you beat down on a population long enough and gloat long enough, are you really surprised when you know what? You know what I mean? Like, it's
I know.
just kind of,
I know.
How long are you going to get away with it? Because at this point, people are living paycheck to paycheck, and you're looking pretty yummy.
Well, I also think it's a divide and conquer thing too. I think a lot of people fall for it. I think a lot of people you'll see fight amongst themselves, and I think truly it is these people just taking advantage of you. And it's so. What drives me crazy is like the way the news cycle works in general. Like, there will be one thing that happens, and then it's what everybody talks about. And it's just obviously so, like, you're not focusing on the big picture if we're always all talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it always works.
Totally.
It's always like story of the day, and then we move on. And then story of the day, we move on. Story of the day, we move on. So when's like the whole thing gonna change? Never.
Right. The
Because
media
that's
is so
how
complicit.
that's how they get you to never
Distraction.
understand. Yeah.
Fight amongst yourselves.
Yes.
We're going to take more from the pile, though, as you do that. And
Yes.
then, like, oh, here's a fiery little thing. This is going to make these two groups fight. This is going to make these three really hate each other. And then, ooh, I know that this will be perfect to distract this group because this is, like, something that we don't want them talking about here.
Right.
It's like, guys.
Yeah. And we don't learn.
We
I
don't
really
learn.
don't think we learn.
We don't learn, but it's also, I was having this discussion with someone. I was like, we don't learn, and that's really hard, but it's also easy to forget that it's been decades of like intense money going into this, studies learning how to distract all of us. Like, we are in some ways victims of something that's way bigger than us, which is like engineering this to be really hard to see. But at the same time, we do have access to more information than we ever have before. And if you look, I don't think I'm crazy. I think it starts to get the stratification is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's numbers that we don't even like. We can't comprehend. And another thing that we run into, and everyone says this, you know, it's not an original thought, but it's really hard for humans to conceptualize the difference between a million and a billion.
Oh yeah.
They sound like similar numbers, but as you say all the time, you know, the difference between a million and a billion is almost $1 billion. You know, like we're not talking about your rich great aunt who has like that really, really nice house, has like 2 cars, maybe has a lake house. Like we're talking about people that have more money than the GDP of like most countries.
Yeah.
And you don't.
They
You can't
practically
think of
are a
that.
country.
You can't think of that type of wealth.
No, you can't. You literally can't conceptualize it. Imagine the milk that person's getting chased by. The largest milk.
No, it's like it's scary because you're like, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
wait a sec.
And
Okay.
and again, like your brain can't comprehend it. So like when someone comes around and says 99.9% of the people have all this money, and then 0.1% has the rest of the money, that doesn't even really make sense to you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but what is that? So I mean, yeah, like what would you do with $1 billion is so much different of a question than what would you do with $1 million. And I remember someone asked me that once. They said $1 million, and I said, oh, well, that's kind of easy. But if you said $1 billion, well, now it's a hard question because $1 billion's so different. It's like unlimited money in this sort of way.
Because we know, right? Once you have a certain amount of money, that is infinite money. There are systems in place to let you grow that money forever.
Right.
Like if you get $200 million, if you invest it correctly, you should never, ever have to do anything for money ever again.
Right.
You know? But like $1 million nowadays, you're definitely going to have to work. That is never going to like necessarily pull you out of the workforce entirely.
That's like 5 to 10 years of money if you
that.
stretch it out.
Yeah. And then like that's assuming you don't have like debt you need to pay off immediately. That's going to take like a chunk of that, you know?
Yeah.
And then the taxes and everything. And so I guess my thing has always been, if we want capitalism, if that's what like the vibe of the country is, then I don't think it's that radical to say, fine, you want capitalism, you want billionaires to be able to exist and have the stuff that you want to have. Everyone in this country should have access to shelter, food, and water, and the basic necessities to pursue their life. Once that's all covered, which by the way is not that expensive if you just tax people a little bit more in the 1%, then go play and have a ball. Like enjoy your riches. You get 7 yachts, but how about until everyone has those things, you get 6, and we take a little bit to make sure that everyone can have access to a safe and healthy life. I don't think that's crazy. You know, I think it's crazy that people think that's crazy because that shows how far we're gone. If people are like, whoa, you want everyone to be like safe, healthy, and like able to pursue the things they want to pursue. If you're in that mindset, when I say that, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I thought we were all in this together. I thought we were a country of people who wanted to do the thing.
Well, I mean, there's the whole, what is it? Up by your bootstraps. What is it? The whole idea that you have to do it yourself and
you
everyone
need
has
boots
to do it
pull yourself
themselves.
up by your bootstraps.
Yeah,
Just saying.
You can't do it without boots. You can't do it with the shoes you found in the trash last week.
I mean, like,
but I was just gonna say that, you know, you'll have that argument always, that you're always going to have people that are going to come around and say, like, you have to do it. And there, it is true to an extent. Like, you can see it in Detroit where you can't just give people housing. It is sort of a hard problem because if you just give people housing and they don't take care of it, the houses fall apart. That's like, it happened in Detroit, and there's all these houses they gave people as a housing project, and they just fell apart because the people didn't care. And when you see these things in California where they try to put them in these houses, but the people don't want to be in the houses because they have to follow rules. So, but even then, it's like, okay, why not just give them food? Like, and the thing is, I would even go as far to say is, we don't even need to take more money. We just need to reallocate the money we spend on bombs and jets and put like a fraction of that money. It doesn't take that much.
A drop.
Yes.
It's really a drop.
It's mind-blowing. Like, it really, its actions speak louder than words, right? Because it tells you a lot. It's like having bad parents. if your parents are always spending money on themselves and things they care about, and then you see that, and you're like, they don't ever spend money on you. Like Christmas comes around, they don't give you anything.
Yeah.
You start thinking, oh, maybe my parents don't love me.
Yeah. It starts to be like, okay. And then you know what the answer always to like when people say that is like, well, why don't we just take a little bit of like this for defense and like put it towards like domestic like issues? They're like, oh, it's different budgets. Excuse me?
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Bureaucracy is what matters here, not like the, different budgets. Different.
Yeah. I mean,
here's the thing.
I think that I don't like the idea because, again, like I said, I think that you can't just give everybody everything. But I do think that there's a net positive of if you just gave they did a stimulus and it went fine. They gave everybody money for a little bit of time and it actually was good. Yeah. Everybody liked it. And I don't think they can't afford to do that once a year. You know how great that would be? If every single person who is an American citizen received $1,000 a month, because that's still not even enough money to afford rent in most places. You're still
going to need to like make ends meet in other ways.
And I think that would solve so many problems just by doing that. You couldn't even predict the problems it would solve because everybody's just poor.
Yeah.
Everybody's just so poor, they just don't feel like they can do anything. That's how the world is.
And that's not good for an economy.
No.
You know what tanks an economy? People not wanting to spend. You know what makes people not want to spend? Not having money.
Yes.
You know what makes people not have money? Being laid off for AI jobs.
Yes, right. You just keep going the other way.
Things keep getting worse. Wonder why. I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if it's like thousands and thousands of newly unemployed people like who, don't have money to spend anymore. It's crazy. But like universal basic income, I think is a conversation we need to start having. And it bothers me that
I'm surprised it's still controversial. Truly.
I'm like, okay, so we're talking about, we need to be all on the same page. We're talking about AI taking a bunch of jobs. If apparently we can do nothing to stop that happening, then there's kind of an elephant in the room, which is what happens to a bunch of people when they don't have jobs.
Yeah, we're all unemployed.
Yet want them to be putting money into the economy and stuff. So it's like, you don't get to just change everything drastically like that without changing something else. And if you're saying, well, that change is ridiculous, well, like I'm saying, this change you're proposing is too fast and ridiculous. Like, how are the humans coming second in like thought? Like, I don't mean how. I know how. It's corporate greed.
Sure, the people who make this AI, like Sam Altman, is on record saying that the humans aren't actually all that important and the AI is going to take over. And he actually wants. I think. I'm not even being a conspiracy theorist. I think he's literally said that. Like that's what's so freaky about these guys that are on top of AIs. They like want it to be sentient and they want it to steal everybody's jobs. They think that's good.
I wish they would just like go smoke salvia
touch
in a corner or something. Like I don't know, like just like okay, you're weird. Like maybe no one agrees with you and wants that reality. And I don't know. It's just
I think the problem is, again, it's presented as an arms race. It's presented as, well, we have to do it or someone else is going to do it. And so, no, like, if you tell that story and you don't tell the story of every sci-fi movie that's ever existed, then I guess we have to do it. Like, if you're going to tell that story and not the other one, what's the other movie that was like, we're already pretty much there? Minority Report. That's another one where it's like, we predict the crimes before they happen.
Yeah, and then you're arrested because like, you haven't even thought of it yet, but you did it. Yeah.
That movie's also tying it all back around, wrapping it all back around, whatever you call that, callback. Great Tom Cruise movie.
We're just glazing Tom Cruise. He's great in Rain Man. It's a great movie.
You're right. I forgot that was him.
And that's like kind of a departure from his like normal thing. And Dennis Hoffman obviously is amazing.
Hoffman, yeah, that movie's so good.
It's so good.
Oh, that movie's so sweet.
Yeah.
That movie I think does such a justice to like what autism really is, and it did it before that was even like a popular thing to do.
Yeah,
like it really is kind of like people who are autistic tend to have like powers in this way, and I don't think there was any story like that before Rain Man.
Like a savant,
of a savant, and that's so true. Like it really is true. They like. I think that's like true with people in general. We just don't realize it. Like your brain doesn't think in this binary way. You're not smart or not smart. It's like your brain fills in other areas depending on how your brain is. Yeah. And maybe you're really, really good at one thing, but you're really, really bad at another thing. But don't worry, because someone else is also really bad at that thing you're good at.
Totally.
And they're really good at the thing you're bad at. So
and that's why there should be funding for the arts in schools.
Oh my
because,
God, yeah.
Like, from my siblings, my sister, super creatively talented, like really good photographer, just like art, visual stuff. Brother, musician, super, super talented at drumming. Me, I was always more academically, favoring that side of things. And it's like, if we didn't have those opportunities to pursue things like photography, drums, like instruments in school, we might have left school thinking Bronwyn's a smart one and her siblings are not because they're not as good academically. But no, we know now, because we had all those experiences, we're able to grow in those skills, that we all have different strengths and like bring something different to the table.
Yeah, there's a book I read called Emotional Intelligence, and the guy who made the concept of emotional intelligence, I think it was the theory of multiple intelligences, like I said. So it's like you have 5 different ones. And his whole point was that we need to change the way that we do schooling, because we're not fostering all these other types of... The only intelligence we focus on is academic, like book smarts.
Yeah.
It's the only thing we actually think about. And I think this is why I never liked school. I think it's like the root of it is they don't focus on any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. They just don't foster anything else.
Yeah.
And every person is different. And some people are just really athletically gifted. And they don't need to waste their time doing math or science. They just don't. They could just be doing those athletic things at a young age all day, and then they would become a super athlete rather than becoming an okay athlete, because they fostered the thing that they were good at.
Right.
They didn't waste their time doing all this stuff they didn't necessarily need. Like, I think there's basic things, but once you get into like 10th, like calculus in 10th grade, like, does every kid need to know calculus? No,
not really.
They don't. But some kids would love, like, I remember they had a poetry class, and it made me so mad because they had the English teacher as the teacher of the poetry class. So when she graded, she would say you would make your poem, and so you'd write your poem. And I still have poems that I wrote at this time that I think are perfect. And so I would write the thing, and I followed it to a T. I did it the way I was supposed to. And then she would say, show it to someone else, and then revise your poem, and you're going to get graded upon how you revised your poem. And I just remember thinking, this woman does not even understand poetry. What is she doing teaching a poetry class? I failed that class out of protest because I was not revising shit. That made me so annoyed. But it's like...
Doesn't that kind of teach you to like doubt some of the quality of your first thing? Because if you're changing it arbitrarily and just to change it because you need to change it after having run it by someone, it's like, well, not necessarily.
I think her teaching that is like an injustice to the art of poetry. Because what if a kid does then think that their poetry is meant to be revised? And everybody thinks of things differently. It's art. It's whatever. It's all interpretive. But like, I write things the exact way they're supposed to be. And I've always done that. And so for someone to tell me I'm required to change it, I'm almost sort of insulted.
Yeah.
Like, do you not understand what I've done here?
Or there should be like an alternative allowed of like, if you see no revisions that need to be made, write a couple sentences about why you're still sticking with these choices.
That would have been all right. That would have been better.
Yeah.
That would have been better. I just made me think, this woman doesn't even know what poetry is.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know. Because if she knew, she wouldn't be doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, how could you tell someone to revise their... I really can't even imagine if someone showed me a poem or a song and my first comment was, oh, you should change this, this, and this. Like, why? Who am I to tell you? It's your thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of what we're doing, is that you get to make it, and then I get to look at it, and I get to feel however I feel.
Yeah.
But you made it. I can say that you could change things, but if my whole focus is on like helping you revise it, I don't know. I just don't even understand that. I really... Oh, that woman.
Also,
You're right,
what does
though.
like another kid know?
What's that?
That's like the thing with like peer editing that I always felt was like, what does this guy
What
even
do they know?
This guy like doesn't pay attention in class. I don't need his thoughts on my thing.
Yeah,
like,
I feel that way about essays, honestly. I
Yeah.
feel the same way about essays even. I think like if I wrote it and I wrote it the way I wrote it, why do I care if this person thinks I didn't do this, this, and this? I also think like so much of that is kind of aged out anyways. Like this whole formal idea of you have to write an essay a certain way isn't really so much like that anymore with the internet and all of this getting, like, it's not so much I mean, publications obviously there are certain ways of writing things, but it's not like you have to know to be a BuzzFeed writer. Like, to be someone who writes articles, you don't have to know how to write an essay the proper, what is the format they say? There's a word for the format, like the actual format. But I know, and I remember like my English teacher explaining how you do a proper argumentative essay. And I remember one thing she said was, you never say "I think," which actually I thought that was really good advice, because you shouldn't even do that when you're talking.
You shouldn't write it in emails. You shouldn't say it. It's like a weakener to whatever comes after it.
Yeah.
You should just state.
You should just say what you think. Yeah, because it's a better argument rather than saying "I think." So there's good things, but I just hate this idea that you have to do it a specific way, or that someone else would know this specific way. Because what if your way is the brand new way and you figured it out and you do it better than everybody else? And if we had that type of mindset, that's how you get people who do have brand new ways and they do figure it out. But if you just hammer into everybody the proper way to do it, and it's just anti-creativity in my mind. It's just the exact opposite. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, it's like if I watched every movie, and every movie I ever watched, it's just like, oh, I could have done this better, or, oh, you could have done this better. Just watch the movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I try to do with music. I can be a hater. Even comedy, I've learned, like, some comedians, I'm a little bit of, if there's a certain style I don't like, I feel myself being a hater. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But you have to, I learned in life, you just have to you don't have to edit everything. You don't have to tell people how to fix it. Maybe their thing is just different than your thing. And that's great. Maybe Zack Snyder didn't make that movie for me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's true. I think that's actually a thing I think a lot on the internet of, like, especially when people get mild to medium mad over a piece of content and they like really didn't like it. I'm like, you can just not like things and then also not spend extra time talking about how you didn't like them.
Right.
Like you could just not consume that anymore.
I feel like you lose when you spend your time talking about the things you don't like.
Now it's double time that you've put into it. You're really not having a good time, are you?
Like, it means that you kind of just want to lose. Yeah. Like, you kind of don't want to go
There's
look
so
at the
many
good
options
things.
for you. There's so many things you could do. And also, but on your point about the comedy thing, I've noticed I really want to turn my brain off sometimes because I'll be in like comedy mode and I'll be hearing someone tell a story and they're not a comic. Like, it's just someone in my life and they're telling a story and I have to like remind myself because my brain starts going, ooh, you could tell this so much more like succinctly, or like you should like rearrange that, or like
that was a tag.
Yeah. And I'm like, nah, they're like a regular person who it's just telling me a nice story that I need to listen to and respond to. You know? And so I think I'm getting better at that. But at the beginning, because my brain was on overdrive like all the time thinking about that, I was like, God, if they could see into my head, I'd be like so annoying. Like this, I need to like shut up.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because I mean, like, you get in the habit of doing a thing and then that thing becomes everything. And I think that like it's very easy to then have like tunnel vision. And I think people who are like critical, it just drives me crazy. At a certain point, you just kind of sound negative. Like if you're constantly critiquing things in your mind, you're kind of just subjecting yourself to this negativity. You just can't be critical. Like, it's kind of, there's people I've met who like, I've learned over time, like, oh, they just kind of hate everybody and everything. Yeah. And that's, I don't like that about them.
The calls coming from inside the house a little bit. Like, yeah. I mean, I think you see a lot what you look for, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking for negativity, you can find that everywhere. But if you are looking for positivity, there's also a lot of that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%. The calls coming from inside the house, I've never heard that. But I like to say we find what we're looking for. And that's the same thing, is like, which is basically what you just said, yeah. Whatever it is that you've placed your sights on. It's like when you hear a word and then you hear it again over and over. Like, you didn't actually start hearing the word again. You just learned to look for it. Right. And then it's there.
You're going to find what you look for. If you're looking for yellow punch buggies everywhere, like, you're going to see more of them.
Yeah.
You know? And so... Not to say that, like, and not to go too far into that and be like, oh, you can just like think your life into being better, like out of all your problems. Like, no, but it is like in the little things of who you surround yourself with. If you notice like all your friends are super negative all the time, odds are you're probably not going to be a super positive person, because where is the space for you to do that? You're going to be kind of emulating whatever's around you, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all boils down to vibes.
It's hard to to let go of people like that,
Oh
though.
yeah, but it feels really good once you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Of bad friends. I had a bad friend growing up. He was like, I think he was schizophrenic or bipolar. And every like year and a half, like it would just be periodic where he would be your friend. He'd be a good friend. It'd be so much fun to hang out with him. And then out of nowhere, he is such an asshole, like trying to like push your buttons. And I remember one time when he was in one of his phases, he had my microphone because it's like when I first started recording music, so it must have been like 2013, and I was recording music on a Rock Band microphone, like with the USB, you plug it in, and I had it at his house, so I wanted to get my Rock Band microphone back from him, and so he said, okay, come pick it up, and this was after he's already being like kind of a dick, but I'm like, whatever, I just need my microphone, I'm just gonna pick it up and leave. And I remember he lived in this apartment complex within walking distance of me, so I walked there, and I'm walking up to his apartment door, and he comes out from behind a tree looking all crazy and shit. And I'm thinking, this motherfucker, just give me my microphone, you fucking crazy ass. And then he just starts whopping me.
Oh my.
He assaulted me. And I didn't fight back, but I didn't fight back because I'm thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about this. I just want my microphone. And I walk home, and I think it was like about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Probably was shorter than that. But I remember his dad or his mom comes out, and they tear him off. And then I just I don't even think I got my mic. And so then I walk home, and I just remember thinking, like, that guy is so crazy. And then I still was friends with them like 2 more times. And still to this day, he will message me like every year, like once or twice a year, and say, hey man, how's it going?
You want your microphone?
But it's just so crazy because it's like a cycle. He and then he'll block me again. He'll message me, and then I can see the message, I can see him, and then probably 2-3 months later, he'll always block me again. So he'll message me, and then he'll block me. He'll message me, he'll block me. And no, I didn't. And I remember too when I hung out with him again later. That person who gave me that stuff, my girlfriend's dad I told you about, he gave me a microphone. I remember I went to his house with that microphone, and he was like, oh, bro, can I borrow this? I mean, what I was thinking. Can you imagine what I was thinking? Can this guy borrow my microphone?
The audacity.
The audacity, yeah. So crazy friends don't keep them. And there's always that temptation within me. Every time he messages me, I'm always thinking maybe I could message him back just for fun.
We had those good times or whatever, but it's like fun. Or just for the story.
Just to see, but it's not even worth that. Like, there's no energy that is worth spending on this person because he has proved over and over again he does not value. And it was so funny because it would be the type of thing where I would see on Facebook every now and then that he messaged someone because they would post screenshots like, oh, this guy messaged me, he's threatening to fight my boyfriend. He was just like your classic like crazy person who would start fights with people over the internet and just spiral out. And I was his friend. I did like him. So it's so hard to like, because there's always that temptation. You're always thinking somewhere in you, well, you know, we did have fun, and he is, somewhere in him is someone I can relate to. Yeah. So it's, and that people have experienced that in all kinds of ways, right? Like your toxic friend can be toxic in any which way.
Yeah.
So,
and those breakups, like friend breakups, can be so much worse than romantic ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Much worse.
Much worse.
Yeah. Because, I mean, often they're longer than a real relationship or a
9 times out of 10, it's
going to
be longer. It's going to be like way more stuff you've been through together. Like maybe you even knew them since childhood. Like maybe that's one of your cornerstone friends. Yeah. It's like painful.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, it's the right thing to do.
You got to do it sometimes. I mean, I've heard the great wise Gary Vee once say, audit your inner circle as business advice. But I think that's a good way to think about it. Like whoever's the circle you have around you, every now and then you have to like evaluate. Is this good? Is this helping me? Are these people pushing me in the right direction?
Yeah. Are these people like pursuing?
Because also your friends can make you complacent. Yeah, they'll just make you not want to do anything because they don't do anything. Right. You know, and I think in comedy and entertainment, it's very, very easy to fall into that, especially for comedy because you're at open mics, right? So you are hanging out. So say you see your friends at open mics all the time. But that can become just hanging out at open mics all the time and never, ever, ever trying to go up that ladder because that's what you're all doing. Or like, I think like, so I make a lot of things like content wise. I think about it in relativity. I do make a lot of things. So think about it. I can't even probably put too much of my mind into people who don't, because they don't understand what that even is. They don't even know what that means.
There's a disconnect there.
Yeah. And so it becomes this thing where like I just know that's the case, and I would be better off if I surrounded myself with people who were productive in that way. And I say that like zero ego, just like it's a weird situation to be in, to like, because there's people I love for, but I know they don't really produce at the level that I would expect out of myself. And if I hang out with that person all the time, I become that person.
Right.
Oh, it
is. I mean, and I think that's why I consider myself really lucky that when I started out in comedy, you don't know anyone, right? If you're just entering the scene, and trying to find that initial group that you're vibing with and like want to go to mics with and like want to kind of just like hype each other up, be in each other's corner. I think it does matter a lot, and I was like lucky enough to kind of be around people that are kind of in the same mindset that I wanted to be, of like really like putting a lot of time and energy, like caring a lot about it, like being more on the aggressive side of like just pushing, like asking for shows, like doing what needs to be done to like propel yourself. And so I kind of got into those habits pretty early, I would say relatively, and then that helped me just like beef up the amount of mics I was doing really soon, which helped me like meet more people and just like, I don't know, it kind of gave me like a good push in the beginning, because I was like, I want to be like these people.
Yeah, and that's best case scenario, like, because I don't think that's what usually happens. I think it's usually trial and error, and then and people, it's like any relationship, you only know people so much, and then you learn more and more about them, and so if you get lucky, that is a blessing, 'cause so often it's like you'll make friends, but then those friendships don't pan out the way you thought they would.
Yeah.
And that's any industry you get into ever, and it's like, the realest friends are the ones that do last, like the person that does stick around, and you can tell why, like
Totally.
I think a good friend is the type of person where you can, you can both push each other, I suppose, in a way. Like, it's not like one of you is doing too much for the other. It's kind of like a, not codependent, but like interconnected relationship. Like you both win by being friends.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it. Because otherwise it just, it feels like, why am I here?
Right.
At least after a while. And I mean, I think like, I just wonder how many people in the comedy world are even of that type of mindset. Because I don't think it's the majority. Truly, I think most people are sort of complacent. I think music's like that too. I think I just see so many people who just, to me, seem like they're okay where they're at, and they don't really have this grand aspiration. And it kind of bums me out. Like, I don't think that way. So I'm kind of thinking like, no, you need to think big. Like, that's how this works. But a lot of people just don't do that. And I don't know, maybe I'm just stressing myself out. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think I'm in the same boat as you, because I was having like kind of a funny conversation with some people. I was lucky enough to get on the stage at Zanies like pretty early in my comedy career.
Yeah.
And
hey, same here. I performed at Zanies. That was the first comedy club I performed at. Can you believe that?
That's wild. That is wild.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's like going into war without any training.
Right. And they just hand you like a bazooka, and you're like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah. And I remember people were surprised. And that's valid, because I think it was surprising. And they were like, so what did you do? And I was like, well, I went to the Zanies website, and it said booking inquiries, email this person. And then I sent my clip into that person, and they emailed back. And
you'd be amazed how many comics don't know
the amount of comics
that.
who were like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Yeah, like you.
And that's also every producer you'll ever meet. All they want from you is a clip and like some basic information.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
Then all these people always tell you, I don't know how to get booked. I don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, it's like you're just not casting enough nets out. Like if you did that 20 times rather than one time, you'll probably get booked.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those bookings will lead to other bookings. And
Yep.
it's like, I have had so many comics respond to me and be like, wait, you ask for shows? You'll like put yourself out there? I'm like, I thought we all wanted to do this. I thought we wanted to like get as many shows as possible and like push ourselves and like do the thing. Like I guess it was just like a surprise to me because I was like, I think if I wait around for people to give me the opportunities that I want, I'm only slowing myself down because the worst they can, like, it's completely within their ability to say no or not respond to me. I'm not saying they have to do it, but like, at least I'm opening the possibility of that door, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's a big scene. There's a lot of people and a lot of people are busy. Like, I think it's easy to think that you're more memorable than you are, but not because you lack something. It's just there's so many people and so many people have so much stuff in their brain that like reminding them of who you are, not a bad thing, and they'll appreciate it if they like their stuff, you know, they'll put you on.
Yeah, I've never understood that expectation of like that someone's supposed to give you an opportunity or there's some sort of obligation or I've done enough or anything. Like it's still an opportunity. So you earn an opportunity.
Yeah.
Or an opportunity is presented to you. You can't expect it because that's a trap. Then
Yeah.
you just all of a sudden you're constantly looking at everything that way and then you become bitter when it's really like you could just be creating those opportunities and that's what you could be doing. You could be crafty about it and think, okay, well, like I think one way to get booked if you've exhausted all opportunities is just book your own show. Simple as that.
That's true
because
too,
then
yeah.
someone's going to see that you've made a show and they'll put you on a show. That is another thing. It's just putting yourself, like you said, in front of them. And I think people are either like, they don't think they shouldn't have to do that. They're too shy to do that. They'll make up reasons for why they shouldn't be doing that. It's like, it doesn't matter. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like if you had a manager, that's what they would be doing for you.
Right.
They would be reaching out to all these people and they like, even if the most ideal world where you have someone doing it, they're doing that.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Because that's how you get booked. I mean, I had a friend tell me, and this kind of blew my mind because I never really thought about it. But like doing a podcast, doing this, for one, he told me I should try to get press passes for festivals because I probably could. As long as I just do like a 5-minute interview video, I could hang out at the festival the whole time with a
Right.
press pass.
Right.
And he's right. And I never thought about that. And then the other thing is you can be a speaker at conventions as long as you have some sort of credentials. Oh, I have this show. I am this person. And how do you do that? You reach out to them and you ask. And I still haven't done it, so I still haven't taken this advice. So there's that.
Yeah.
But that is such a good idea. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those things I wouldn't have thought of, but it's like not even that far from reality. Like it's something you could make happen, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, that's a lot of those things. A lot of those opportunities you think aren't there really are. It's just you're not doing the thing that would make that happen. And again, like if you have bad friends or you have friends who don't understand where you're at or what it is to get where they want to go, where you want to go, you have similar goals. If you don't have people like that, you know, people give you bad advice and tell you the wrong things to do and, you know, maybe have that bitterness or have whatever. And then they'll make you think that it isn't in your reach. And if you had friends that act like that, you start acting like that.
Totally.
And it is like a cycle, you know, that the energy breeds the energy, right? So if you're the person who thinks you can do things, your friends will think you can do things. I just can't, like, I get so exhausted by, like, people who really just don't have this, like, mentality of trying to get, and really makes me think, like, am I just this perfectionist? But if I am, maybe that's good. Maybe that's the good thing.
It makes me laugh though, because I'm like, you're saying you've overcome this hurdle that so many people don't think they could ever do, which is getting on stage with a microphone and thinking you have enough to say that you should say it in front of a group of people. but you draw the line at sending that clip in to someone who could give you an opportunity. You're like, oh, that's too much. That's crazy. My dude.
Yeah.
Like, you already did the hard thing. Now be celebrated for it. And also, sure, does it feel great when someone says, hey, are you available for a show? I would love to book you. When you're asked, yeah, it feels awesome. Is it like that much less awesome to have a clip sent in, someone watch your clip and go, I really want to put this person on my show. Yes, I'm booking you. No, it's pretty freaking awesome as well. You
Yeah.
still earned it. You still, like, no one's giving pity like spots to someone just because they sent a clip.
And the end result is the same. So like the audience that's looking at that, the image you're trying to achieve looks the same either way.
You got the show.
No one knows how you got booked on that show. No one knows whether they reached out to you or you reached out to them. No one knows anything. Unless
matter.
you tell them, no one knows. And so it doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, to them it's like, oh, how'd you do that? And that's it. That's all it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just think, like, I've been telling everyone, like, also, if you have a friend who's like, you shouldn't submit, that friend is sabotaging you. Like, get them out of your life, because I mean, I just think that, like, pursue it in every way you can, and that means also putting yourself out there, like, and with the caveat being, if you want to get more shows. If you want to do, like, just a couple, like, cherry picked things where someone asks you and, like, that's the tempo you want, then yeah, hell yeah, go for it. But if you're sitting there being like, why am I not getting booked more, and you haven't been putting yourself out there, maybe do yourself a favor and send your clip to people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the comedy is this weird thing, because the way that booking works and the way that producing, it's so different than anywhere else. And I never really realized it until someone was explaining to me, like, the growth opportunities in comedy. Like, you can have someone, I think the tiers of fame and opportunity and all this are so different in comedy than anywhere else. You can have, like, a tier 1 through 50, whereas in music it's kind of 1 through 10. Like, you're either this famous or this famous, whereas in comedy it's like so relative. It's kind of weird. There's people who are different kinds of famous, even, or famous in different circles, or not even famous, but it's like big in their city. Everyone knows this person in this city, and they're like a local legend. There's so many different versions of what, and so whatever success is in comedy to you might be different too. Like, what is the end goal? Are you trying to be like a big comedy name? Or are you trying to just be like a club performer that makes enough money to get by?
Right.
Because I mean, there's different things that you could want from it. And yeah, it's also just such a weird art form just on its own, like just in principle, because like you said, it's just going on stage with the microphone and sharing your opinions, essentially, like sharing thoughts, and then hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
That's all of comedy, is that.
It's and like,
what made you want to do comedy in the first place? Because you started recently. I mean, it's always another thing that's funny about comedy comparing to other things is always like, I started when I was 20, when I was 30. It's rarely ever I started when I was 10 to 15.
Yeah, right. And
Anyway.
that makes so much sense too, because of like the setting of like a lot of comedy being in clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up definitely a comedy fan. Like Mitch Hedberg was a really big influence in my house, but I kind of thought, just by default, I was like, well, there's a very small subset of the population that has this talent or ability to do this, right? I'm statistically probably an audience member for life. I'm going to enjoy comedy. It's going to be really fun. I like being around funny people, but that's probably not something I can do. And I didn't even try an open mic until this year in January, partially because I was really sick of hearing myself say that I wanted to try it. I started to get really tired of that. I was like, is she ever gonna do it? You know? And you don't get points for wanting to try something. And so I just remember being like, wow, it's been months and I've just been saying that, but nothing's happened. So I guess I gotta go do it. And I did my first open mic. I did 4 minutes of absolute, like, no laughs. It was not funny. It was like a amusing story, but amusing does not mean people are laughing out loud. And then I got like one laugh at the very end from like a throwaway joke. And I was like, okay, I did that. I was proud of myself for trying. I was like, I'm going to put that on the shelf. It didn't go that well, whatever. And then the inciting incident happened in February, which, if anyone has seen like any of my jokes, you know, while I was in bed with this lady, she said that I looked like Anne Frank, mid coitus. So that was appalling. And I did have this sense, I was like, well, I've done one open mic. I need to tell everyone what just happened. Like, this cannot stay in this bed, whatever. So then I went and like threw myself into it, just trying to be like, and I felt like I was given a gift by the universe a little bit, because for a relatively new or brand new person doing comedy, a story that was funny on its own had just fallen into my lap. A true story where like just the bones of it are funny. That's ridiculous. There's like hilarity in that already. And so it gave me a jumping pad basically to start to hone, start to punch it up. Like as my skills grew with like writing and performing, I still had that core story that was already funny, and it gave me like a little bit more wiggle room to like get my sea legs, I would say, because I had this kind of inherently gripping, amusing story.
Yeah.
So then I just started getting more into it. I decided to keep myself accountable. I would take a class. I ended up taking the FemCom class at Lincoln Lodge, which was like, I think 5 or 6 weeks of, you know, learning the very basics of like writing and performing. And it all led up to this performance on the main stage at Lincoln Lodge with like 100+ audience members of all of our friends and family, really supportive crowd, doing 5 minutes that we had worked on during the class. And as I was taking the class, I was doing more and more open mics. So I was like really like starting to figure the early stuff out. That clip, that 5-minute clip from Lincoln Lodge, is still one of my best. And having that clip so early, I got it in May when the class ended. I was just able to kind of like launch right in because I had this clip that I was super, super happy with. 5 minutes, really strong. And so I just started submitting like everywhere right after the class wrapped up. I kept doing more and more open mics. And then like the momentum just kind of like the clip is so, if I had to give one piece of advice to anyone starting out, people have different opinions on classes. I think it's a great way to hold yourself accountable if you struggle with like individually making yourself do these things and go to mics. But that clip is like priceless. If you can get a really good recording of yourself doing 5 minutes on the main stage of Lincoln Lodge with like 100+ people, great laughs. It's still my most used clip for when I send it into things.
Because it's so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, so from the perspective of a producer, you would have to know that this person is capable of doing anything at all. So, like, it doesn't matter if I've seen you do a good 3 minutes at an open mic. I have to know that you could handle 5 minutes in, like, an actual situation. Yeah, and so that's often what a producer is looking for. I've heard producers say that they, like, some really just want to see you in person, which I actually think that's better. Like, if you see somebody in person, you get a better sense of them like in the wild, I suppose, because anybody could have a good clip. I really think that, like, which is almost inspirational for anybody listening. Anybody
can have a great
clip.
have
a good clip. I really, anybody has a good 5 minutes. Everybody has a good night. That's kind of why the stage matters too, right? If it's a notorious stage, a notable stage, that helps a lot. But yeah, that's just being able to be funny in different ways, right? Because also being booked for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's different too. Do you have a 20-minute clip? Because that's another thing producers are going to look for. Like, you can't ask to have a 20-minute set, 15-minute set if you only have a 5-minute clip. You can, but it doesn't actually represent what they're looking for.
Right.
And so there's that. Yeah, a great clip can do so much, though. Like, so much. And it's also, like, why I really think that, like, obviously, you can't just post every single open mic joke that you do, but you should find a way to be consistent, because that's going to be the best thing for you. Like, just if you could find a way, if you have like a good 10-minute set, I mean, it's also like burning material. It just becomes that whole thing where it's like, how much do I want to give away for free?
Yeah.
But I really do think that by putting yourself in front of everybody with the thing that you want them to see, that's the best thing you could do, rather than like sidelining it and only posting stuff that's like crowd work, or only posting skits, or only like, you should post actual stand-up, because it's like, as a rapper, I feel like the best thing I could possibly do is just post something that works on the face of it as me rapping, so you can see that that's what it is, not like me talking about rap, not like any of that. The best thing I could possibly do is just show that I'm capable of that, because that's what's going to convince somebody, not anything else.
Yeah.
So I think the same thing with like posting clips or sending clips. It's the clip that's going to convince them, not anything else you do, not your personality, not anything. It's going to be, what, can they do it or can they not do it?
Right.
That's what, and like, if you've ever produced a show before, then you start to learn those things on like, because you can't, I think a show only works if you think that way. If you don't always book the same people and you're always looking for talent, you're always trying to create the best possible show, then you can't think in a way where you don't just look for the best things. So clips are the only way to do that in a sustainable way. You can't see everybody. You literally can't. And then it's also like, I don't even know how I could keep track of clips. You know, I've had people send me clips to be on the podcast, and I've always thought that's so sweet.
That's nice, right? Yeah. Like, that's gotta feel kind of like, ooh, you like,
yeah,
you know, all right, yeah.
You want, because and they're just thinking like producer brain. That's what they would do to any producer. But I'm just thinking like, that's how I get a vibe of them, is seeing their 5 minutes. I've had a couple people do that now, like send a whole clip for me. That's kind of neat. I think that is neat. I like that. It kind of, because again, like, it shows. In my mind, it shows that they're serious. That's how I'm thinking. Like, if they, not only do they want to be a part of this, they're really trying.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not everyone's going to try. If there's anything you learn over time in entertainment, working with a lot of people, not everybody's going to try. And that's fine. And that's actually okay. But it makes you stick out when you do try. You know, all of a sudden it's like everybody realizes, yet again, people do try. Yeah. The whole audience is like, whoa, people try still. It's great.
I also appreciate the way that clips can be an equalizing force, because so much of like the entertainment industry is like connections and who you know, right? And like, you know, people just, like you said, like, there are networks and there are groups, so people can book people through word of mouth, or just like, because, you know, all right, let me do your show, I'll let you do. So there's a lot of that going on. And if you're not as tapped into that, if you haven't found your group yet, and maybe all you have is like your talent and this clip, it can still open doors for you. You don't have to know everyone. And like, so I think it goes back to like my Zanies example of like, I wasn't established yet in the scene. I'd never met, you know, the producer for Zanies. It was a shot in the dark, but I was like, hey, maybe my clip is good enough to get his attention and open that door. And it happened to be, so that was super cool. And he's, you know, always looking to put new people on, which is also a benefit. But it's just like, if I had thought to myself, well, I don't know, who am I? Like, who am I really to do this? Like, well, that's not up to you, right? If you think you're doing this and you want to like take the opportunities and make those for yourself. If you want to do Zanies, how would you go about that? What is your path there? Take that path and see what happens. If you see yourself on this stage, research that like place, see who could be your path there, like work on it. You know, have a goal, work towards it. And then you'll end up in really cool scenarios sometimes. Yeah,
like I heard someone say, imagine yourself as the loser at the beginning of a movie, and then imagine yourself getting better by the end of the movie, and then enact the training montage that takes place in the middle of the movie. Like, you are in the training montage where you get better. Yeah. And that's a good way to think about it. Like, okay, so I am the person that's on stage at Zanies. And the other great piece of advice I heard a long time ago, I'll never forget it, was some guy, he did tattoos. It was part of like a job program. So the guy was giving a speech, and his whole thing was like, if your goal in life is to play Madison Square Garden, you should be living as if you've already played Madison Square Garden and it's the next day. And I think that's the best possible advice you could have. Because it's like, I think just because if I create this thing, like, oh, I played Zanies, I made it, and that's the idea in my mind, or I performed this club, it's all over, I've done it. But what happens when you perform at that club? nothing happens. You just wake up the next day and then everything keeps going on. And so you need to get yourself in like the mindset of someone who just does things like that.
Yes.
Because that's how it's going to be if you actually get to that place that you're thinking you want to be at. And I just, that like clicked something in my brain that day when that guy said, I was like, oh my God, he's so right.
You're speaking my language. I felt that so strongly literally the day after Zanies. Because like it feels like, well, it was a dream come true. It was amazing. It was insane. And then you wake up and you're like, back to it. I want it again. Like I want to get back on there. And nothing actually has changed, except everything has changed, right? Like you got that taste. But I do remember I like texted my friend. I was like, I don't like feel different. And they're like, well, yeah, you know, like it happened. And now you like keep going. Like there's never like that one moment where you're like done. It's just like,
and I think that's like the curse of like the idealization we have of fame and all its success and all these things is like, it's all idealized. It's always, this is going to happen and it's great. But then once it happens, you just continue to exist. I think it's why you always see like famous people be like, yeah, fame did not fix any of my problems. Because you're always probably thinking somewhere in the back of your mind, okay, I'm going to get successful and then this is all going to be better. And then it never, ever, ever happens.
yeah.
So you just got to start now. Like that's the only way.
Literally.
Is you don't wait for that thing. You just keep acting as if that. Because I mean, I think the person who performs at Zanies doesn't even just think about Zanies. They're thinking about every big club. How do I get into here? How do I get into here? How do I get into here? Like they think bigger than Zanies because Zanies is just one place. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I think of any big opportunity I've ever had. It's always like this is a stepping stone towards something else that is better. But how, I'm not quite sure yet. You know, that's the weird part is you don't know what everything leads to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would also say the only reason I think I got any of those opportunities in the first place is because I do this podcast and I post clips of it. People see those and then they're like, oh, this person exists. And then you become familiar.
Right.
Like it's just the way you do that is different for everybody.
Totally.
But it's like, I know for a fact, if I didn't do this, I probably wouldn't have performed at Zanies. I probably wouldn't know half of the people I know now. And so it's just weird how that works of putting yourself out there and the butterfly effect of that. Because there's also like you see comments, you see views, you see that. You don't see the things people say about you.
Yeah.
You don't see how people think of you. You get glimpses at that, but you don't really understand. And that's really the most real thing. It's more real than any of that other stuff is, they say word of mouth is the best advertisement. Like, and all that stuff comes from just little things. Like the world we're in now, you actually have such an opportunity where you can create things for people to find you. Back then, you just had to perform. Like 20 years ago, you just had to do a set. You just had to go out and do a set and hope someone saw you. Now you can send clips.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how different that is too, and how much opportunity is just literally at your fingertips.
Yeah. And it's intimidating too.
Yeah.
Because it means like ton of people. Like the barrier to entry is pretty low, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's what I like whenever people are like, oh, wow, I could never do that. You know, people like my friends who don't do comedy. I'm like, oh, you totally can though.
Harold Patrick once said to me, the barrier to entry of comedy is writing your name on a piece of paper.
Literally.
And I was like, wow, it literally is.
It is. It's just that. And if you have any interest in doing it, I think you owe it to yourself to try.
Yeah.
Because
and you'll learn how
know.
hard it is.
You'll, if nothing else, gain new respect for the art form.
Yep. Because I think a lot of people who think they're funny or think they could do stand-up don't really understand how much of a craft and a form there is to it until they're up in front of a bunch of people and they just are talking.
Totally. Even stuff you've said before. That story of my first mic, that 4-minute long story, I've told that story before to my friends. I've had people laugh at it. It is a completely different beast standing up there and telling a story that's supposed to be specifically crafted to have punctuated, laughs throughout it. It's a completely different thing. But then just, saying that doesn't mean if you are funny in real life, you won't be. You might be really funny on a mic too. So
you're more likely to be.
You should probably try it. It might be fun.
It might be fun. You should try it, but I think almost every time you'd be surprised. Like every single comedian always says my first mic was like, it's always a nightmare story or it was great. And then the second mic was the nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always, you could get lucky the first time, but and that's why I refuse to do comedy is because I've spent so much time getting good at music. I don't want to start over again. Comedy sounds like a nightmare.
An intimidating thing The what I was gonna say earlier too is like starting. I think a huge barrier for me was I don't want to suck at comedy. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be good at comedy. I don't really want to go through that hard period of like not being good. But then I was like, there's no way to skip that though. If I ever want to be good at comedy ever in my life, the easiest way to do that is starting today.
Yeah.
Because that will make it less far in the future. And so once I like accepted that of like, well, I either got to let this dream go. Like I will never be good at comedy if you never start, or I can grit my teeth and start to be bad at comedy.
I think that's a sad part of being an artist in general is because you change in life naturally, like maybe better is not even the word, but you just change in ways. And so then you go back and you look at the things you used to do and it's just so bad. Like music, I can look back at, I've always mixed and mastered my own music. So I think that's awesome. I really think most of the stuff I've written has been pretty great, but I can go back and look and so much of it sounds so bad because I didn't know how to mix it or master it. So it's like it didn't reach its full potential.
Right.
And it's my fault. And it is what it is. It's just there and it is what it is. But it's also, I know if I had never started and I had never made those things, I wouldn't be here right now making the things I make now.
Exactly.
So it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you have to just learn to hate everything you ever make. And you have to accept that everything you make, like I've learned to accept that now, right here, right now. The things I make now, probably 5 or 10 years, I'm just going to look back at it and be like, oh my God, why did I put that there? Yeah. Why did I have that light over there? Why did I do that? And it'll be to the point where I won't even want to watch it. And you accept these things.
Just gotta
That's
do
just
it.
the way it is. And it's like, I think people are really, really good at making up reasons not to do things. So it's like, the amount of times I've heard people say, like comedians say, oh, I want to start a podcast, because they'll be doing this podcast or they'll be talking and they'll be like, oh, I've thought about starting one. I don't even want to give them advice. I don't even want to tell them anything. I just say, just start one and go, and then fail upwards, because that's literally the only thing I could really tell you.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they're not even going to do it. So it doesn't matter if I tell them a bunch of advice, because they're not even going to start. But if they do start, it's going to be bad. And that's the one thing I do always say. If you start, it's going to be bad. Allow it to be bad, and you'll get better.
Totally.
And that's starting anything. But it's just crazy the amount of people who will say that, and then they'll never start anything. You know. I think it's like a life lesson. There's a song I wrote called "Go," and I really love that song. It's one of my favorites. And the whole point of the song is as simple as, they say forward momentum reduces anxiety. Like physically, we know that. Like just by moving and exerting yourself, you can reduce these feelings of inability.
Yeah.
And I think there's a life lesson in that. It's just the act of every moment is a choice, and you either choose to do or not to do. And if you never do, you become the person that never does. And that's a super simplified version, but if you are a constant cycle of that every moment of existence, Yeah. And so I just try to always think on that scale of like every moment is as important as you allow it to be, and every choice is as important as you allow it to be.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to be complacent and fall into comfort and to enjoy the bread and the circus, right? And just to have fun with all that, and not to actually want more from yourself. And the best things in life come from wanting more from yourself.
Totally.
I really religiously think that. It's just I think my purpose in life is just to put that out there because it's the only way people get happier and enjoy things is by making themselves better, and it just drives me crazy. It makes me sad that people don't seem to want that. People seem to want to just walk in circles. That's my general observation. I think moving to a city, you'll see a lot more people who don't think that way, but still it's just so much of and I think it creates this sadness in yourself if you even just if you don't make art, if you don't write, if you don't put your ideas out there. You have to do something, because it's otherwise there's this hole inside of you.
Totally. I mean, we're conditioned and almost encouraged at every direction to consume, intake.
Yeah.
And produce only what you do at work. Your production it stops at what you do for your living. I feel like when I refound a creative outlet, which was comedy, I was like, oh my God, there was a hole inside of me. Like lacking any way to pour creativity, thoughts, ideas into. I didn't realize what I was missing until I had like gotten that back and had something to do. I was like, oh my God, I think everyone needs this. Not necessarily comedy, but I'm pretty sure that if someone's like really just not content with anything that they're doing in life, I'm willing to bet it's worth a try to find a creative outlet. I think that you would be hard pressed to not see some kind of positive impact from finding something like reading, writing, drawing, anything. And it doesn't have to be good. I mean, just like anything, like creating, literally writing nonsense is going to feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, like, for one, I think you're meant to be creating. I mean, that's what life is all about, is creating things. And that's what we're always doing, is creating things. And so if you don't do that, I think that there's like that dormant feeling in you that wants to do it. It's always there. And for another thing, I think like, I just don't think we think like spiritually like that. And that's the way it's meant to be thought about, is like, it is like a spiritual exercise to create. It's not a literal exercise. It's just it's like a therapeutic thing. Like when I write songs, of course I show them to people and I hope they enjoy them, but I do that because I like them. I like to do it. It feels good. Like not for, and then you can tell when someone's not creating for themselves. You can kind of tell. It's like, because they concern themselves too much with these things that aren't really, like, now you're not trying to follow your own creativity. You're worried about this and this and this. And you'll see that happen too. Yeah. I think that's, you're losing the plot, because creativity should just be this genuine expression of your spirit. And as simple as that. And everybody needs to do that. And like what you said about before, about like schools not supporting arts. I think our entire society, like you said, consumerism, all of it. I've like caught myself being on my phone going, I'm not the person that's supposed to be scrolling through this. I'm supposed to be the person making the things that people see. Yeah. Like, what is wrong with me right now? But we all do it. We all fall into the pattern. And so, yeah, it's just so crazy how ingrained in reality it is to do that. Because art is such a fundamental thing. I think I forget who said this idea, but it's like the idea that a metaphor, I think it's like Charles Fourier is his name, I can't remember. But it's the idea that a metaphor is closer to reality than most things because of the way that your brain understands a metaphor, like metaphysically. Like you're able to extrapolate through a metaphor how this thing applies to reality. And that process is more real than if you were to literally interpret something, because you're able to feel it in a certain way that you couldn't feel it if it wasn't presented as that metaphor. And that's what most art is. Art is a sort of metaphor. A painting is a sort of metaphor. And no one could tell you you're wrong. Like what your interpretation of it is correct, because that's what it is. It's meant to produce that reaction in you. So I just think like an artless society it doesn't surprise me that if we walk away from religion, we walk away from art at the same time. You know, like those things I think are all connected. I think that the more we become less interconnected with each other and focused on that tribe thing, we become less in touch with what art is and what those shared things are, and how it isn't just about us. It's about what it all means when you connect all those dots. Like my art isn't even mine. It's what you think when you see it. Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about it. But
I think if I had to like I feel like there's actually like a huge theme running throughout like our entire conversation, which is like people not looking up like at the stars, but also up class consciousness wise. I mean, like people just need to look up more, because there's things that unite everyone. We all look up at the same sky and wonder the similar things to each other, and there's like connection in that. Yes. You know?
And you know what? You said earlier something about how humans are cute and how we look at the stars. And when you said that, I thought, you know, I think what's sad is that like that childlike wonder is within all of us, and it never goes away. And that's things like, I think art teaches you that, and play teaches you that, and we are always capable of doing that. And it always reminds us that it's there. But it gets taken advantage of, and it gets exploited, and it gets treated as this thing that isn't beautiful. Like it really is something you like. Someone once told me, be childlike, not childish. And I thought that was such good advice.
Yeah.
That random lady on the treadmill that one day said that. But anyway, and I think it's just that childlike wonder within all of us is such a beautiful thing. I think it's the foundation of creation, is that idea that everything is just kind of a matter of what you want to do. You still have a choice in this reality you exist in. Kids think that way. They don't feel so trapped.
Yeah.
And so
the world is limitless to them, and every problem can be solved, and everything is like within reach, but also incomprehensible. Like there's there's no limits to what could happen, and that's scary and also freeing. It's like, but we lose that when we go through childhood and learn the ways that the world works. But really, it's the ways that this current world works, right? Like that's not an absolute fact. It's not like, we talk about it sometimes as if the current state of the US is a natural phenomenon, as if it's not a man-made decision over years and years to craft our country in this way. And it's like, just because things are doesn't mean that's how they ought to be. And children don't think that way. Children think of, well, if this is this way but it should be this way, how do we get it to be this way? Absolutely.
And they think outside of that box. Like I was saying earlier, like if you tell everybody you have to do it the same way, they're just going to start thinking like that. They're not going to start thinking outside, like, oh, maybe we could try this. They don't think that because they've been taught that that's the wrong way to do it.
Can't color outside the lines.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
It's like, why? It looked prettier that way. It was neat. I was doing something there.
Yeah. And, it's so easy to cut wings off of a kid. It's so easy to clip the wings and make the kid not want to fly anymore.
Totally. We do it for safety. We spin it sometimes as like protecting them. Right? We don't want the world to crush them. We have to like teach them reality. We have to make sure that they don't think they can actually pursue their dreams and make a living, right? Because that's something they need to worry about, because this is the real world where money matters. But it's like, God, that's depressing, huh? Yeah. We're telling a kid who's like full of life and full like, I wanna pursue this, and it's like, well, you actually won't be able to pay the guy who owns your building every month to stay in your room if you do that. It's like, okay, seems like a systemic problem, not like my problem,
Yeah. You can be an astronaut, but you must be in debt first.
Yeah. Right.
Truly, that's like that's what you tell the kid.
Or like, don't even pursue that because there's no money. Like, oh gosh, you're good at art. Hopefully you find something else that it's like, man, that's not, how are we at this point where there's like never been more wealth ever, and people still are not free to pursue artistic things, even with like everything we've accomplished? Like what have we accomplished if people still can't?
And it's not even encouraged. It's not,
it's defunded, actively
defunded, and like an afterthought. Where even though it has obviously it has such an impact on society, the arts do, and they always have. So it's crazy that we just act like they don't, and we take money away from these things. We don't foster these things,
right?
Because obviously, like America in particular, media, just film, music. I mean, painting's not as big as it was, but in like the 30s through the 60s, 70s, I mean, art was still a thing that everybody talked about a lot, and like. It's just crazy how none of that stuff is viewed as important. It's not even worth it.
But it should.
But it's the only thing that's worth it in my mind. Like that's what keeps people sane.
It's also what keeps people functioning members of society. We talk about these systemic issues like violence and crime and people under 18 kind of being wrapped up in those situations, right? And like, not, people talk about all the time of like, these kids need a different outlet. Like they're just getting caught up in these situations, and then people like drop it, or like some people have ideas of like how do we solve. It's like, you think that's what all those kids would choose to be doing if they had a bunch of options? Do you think if, like, for example, everyone was able to pursue an instrument, like an instrument or art or something, like that would not be the natural state of, no one's picking that, right? Like, there's so many other things that are contributing to this, I don't know, like issue or whatever, but I would be very surprised if adding funding for like activities and things that make you flourish in that creative way, like that can't be a bad thing. I just don't believe that there would be a negative impact. Maybe it wouldn't solve everything, but I guarantee it wouldn't hurt.
No, it wouldn't hurt. And I think that, like you experienced, people would experience a similar revelation, right? Like, so many people find things. And comedy, they always find it later. So it's always fun to ask a comedian, like, how does that happen for you? Because almost always, it's like, I did this, then I did this, then I did this, and then I found this. Every time. I'm lucky that I found music when I was 13. Yeah. Because that was just something I knew I can do. And most people don't have that. Like a thing that they feel certain in. And like, I think about that with like exercise and with music or like art. I think that like this is me versus me every time I do this. And this is me proving myself to myself. It's not about anybody else. And it feels good just for me to do it. I don't need anyone else's help. There's nobody that can help me do this or tell me how to do it. It's just for me to figure out. Especially art though, right? Like especially art. There's just no guidance. It's strictly something that I must figure out. And so like in comedy, it's the same. Like people can tell you how to write your jokes, but no one can tell you how to write your jokes. No one can develop the voice that you have. Yeah. They just can't. It's for you to figure out. And I think that doing that is so true to life. Like it's just, you can feel something tangible within you. Like, oh, I made this before and I made this now. And it just, it speaks to you in a way that I don't think anything else really can. No non-creative pursuit can. Like to be able to have that sort of way of looking at your progression and just way of spending time with yourself, I suppose, too. Yeah. Yeah, it's important to give yourself and to and yourself like that, to like allow yourself to do your thing. Yeah. That means so much more than doing what other people want you to do. Because again, it's like you make choices that define the rest of your life all the time. So if you always do what you want to do and you follow yourself, you start to stop listening to what a lot of other people say. You learn that doesn't really matter. Like, people are always going to say things, no matter what. They will always. If you do the right thing, the wrong thing, it doesn't matter. People are always going to tell you what they think you should have done, what they would have done better, no matter what. No matter if it's fucking perfect, they're going to tell you that. Yeah. And a lot of it is influenced by who they are as a person. Like, no one's giving you a completely isolated, like, non-biased take. Right? Yeah. Everything from someone has been informed by, affected by their own experience and their life. So it's like, I want to say maybe Bill Hader, but I could be getting this wrong. He, I think, was talking about jokes and how to use people's reaction to a joke to help you. He's like, people tend to be really good when they give you feedback at picking up where an issue is, what line or whatever is the issue that could be improved. But their suggestion for what to do there instead, that's usually trash. Like, disregard that, but listen to where they're saying the issue is, where they got hung up, because that's where you come in. That's where you can improve. But generally, he's like, still listen to them, sure, like for their idea. But since you're the artist, you're the one creating it, it's probably going to be better. That's your funny decision of like what to do with there. They're right in theory. They picked up on what, but their skill is picking up on what your skill is
taking that
because you're the professional.
You're the professional.
And they don't actually know what you could change, but they do know something went wrong.
Yes.
Because they're the audience you're aiming at anyway. Huh. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other thing is you do get caught up, like it's hard to see what you're doing from any perspective but your own. So you do have to listen. I think it's good to hear everybody. You don't have to follow everybody's advice, but it does actually value you to like listen to people who...
Of course.
Yeah, because I mean like people see different things too. You know, sometimes people will see the exact thing. It could be like the random guy that you didn't even expect it from. And he sees the exact thing. This shirt. I used to say to people, professional mind blower. I would get off stage. They would say, oh, that was amazing. I'd say, yep, I'm a professional mind blower. That's what I do. He said, you should put that on a shirt. I was like, dude, you are a genius. No one has said that to me. And I cannot find any other shirt online that says professional mind blower. I think I was the first. And so that guy, I can never stop thinking that guy.
Yeah.
Because it was just some random suggestion that he had, and he was spot
off the top of his dome.
on. Yeah, and it never would have ever. And it's not like this is not a guy I would go to for advice. Okay, this is like some random drunk guy.
Yeah.
Like,
You should put on a shirt. And you're like, oh my God.
it's like hug me, brother. You're so right. But yeah, it was really. That same guy, I remember he wanted to be my manager. He was that character, right? Oh, I know some people. I want to be your manager. Meanwhile, he doesn't have a phone number. It's like, all right, man.
Oh man.
But I do, and I remember he got me a gig, but he like didn't tell me he got me a gig. He just got me a gig, and it was at like some bowling alley in the suburbs that I couldn't make it to. So I didn't even know what to say. Like, am I supposed to contact this guy and tell you, like, dude, you should have, you're trying to be my manager. You should have communicated with me.
Yeah.
Am I just supposed to go to the show you didn't tell me about? That's what happens when you get a manager from the bar. Okay, never get a manager from the bar, never get a manager from the strip club, never get a lawyer from the bar, never get a lawyer from the strip club. These are rules of life.
Okay.
Yeah, I know people who have gotten lawyers from strip clubs. In my family. And I said, why? But I know this. Like at a strip club, my sister works at a strip club, and she suggested one of the clients for a lawyer for my brother, and I think that is hilarious.
That is.
Like just on the face of it, you know? Like she's stripping for this guy. She's like, hey, my brother, he's got a case.
Can I get a little bit of legal advice while I slip into something more comfortable? Yeah.
Right. He's supposed to be off of work right now. But yeah, it's probably like just 9 times out of 10, it's going to be like a fly-by-night lawyer. You are not going to get top tier legal advice. Just don't make friends at the strip club. Just in general.
Trying to think of like a good, like who from the strip club do you really, like you want to get your person from the strip club?
Yeah. I mean, who? Oh, we're asking. Let me think about that. You're right. That's a fun thought experiment.
Like,
who would you want from the strip club? Maybe somebody in the entertainment business. Like if you're looking for somebody like who can put together. Oh, okay, I got it. Like a burlesque show. You want to put together a burlesque show?
Yeah.
You want somebody from the strip club because they get the vibe you're going for.
Vibe.
So
Totally.
that's one. Obviously, if you work in porn, obviously that's a given. Like, oh, you're a porn director? Sweet. Like, that would be the place to meet them, probably. What else? That's a really good question. Where is a good place? In the comment section, let us know which profession you think would be good to run into at a strip club. There's so many I can think of that would be bad.
For what profession is running into them at a strip club a plus?
Yeah, like a dentist, bad.
Bad.
Maybe like a I was gonna say physical therapist, but I don't know because they would probably like they're interested in the body.
Maybe like a trainer.
Yeah.
If you like go there and then he's like, she's one of my clients. You're like, damn, she looks great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you have openings? Like
that's right.
You know?
That's right. He's got his examples right there.
Then
you
you're
can
like,
see everything.
why are you here though?
Yeah, what's going on?
Did she like strain something? Like, are you like, yeah, hey, don't do that move. We talked about that.
He's kind of
No splits, Alyssa.
he's trying to make sure she doesn't like overexert herself.
You stretch?
It's a fun idea of like a physical trainer like keeping an eye on somebody while they're stripping.
Yeah,
like, whoa,
like a
you're gonna
coach.
break your leg. What are you doing? We got squats tomorrow. What are you doing up there?
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, I think we've done a great job here. I think we brought it full circle. We were inspirational. I think we probably, at the very end of the show, what I always try to do is two things. Try to, one, give a message for the kids. And I think we've had plenty of messages for the kids, but I'll let you give them one more. Okay, so you're going to give them a message for the kids on the school bus. They're listening to this podcast. They have witnessed our wisdom. They have understood that we are some very wise sages of our time, and we have things to say, and so you're going to give them a final little nugget, something actionable, something they can take with them and use in their lives. That is your job right now, and the second part of your job is this, to give them your social medias where they can find you online, because again, they've spent all this time with you. They might as well spend some more, so boom, the floor is yours.
There are so many obstacles that prevent you from achieving everything that you want in life. Don't let one of them be that you just decided not to do it, that you decided not to try. That is such a lame reason to never achieve one of your goals. That is my advice. Don't let yourself be the obstacle. And you can find me online. My name is Bronwyn Galloway. At Instagram, it's 6 Bronwyn. The B is a 6. And yeah, Bronwyn Galloway on anything else. You can search me up. I do comedy.
Wow.
I know that like differentiates me from like everyone who's done this podcast. I actually do comedy.
I do real comedy.
No, I share too many stories with strangers because I like to do that. You know, there's something cute about it.
Yeah, there's
Humans
something
are
nice
cute.
about that. I mean, I've learned I'm a bit too honest. I will say too many things. I'll say this. If you stuck around till the end of this, nobody clip this, please, okay? You stuck around till the end of this, I'll tell you this. I'll admit this information. This is embarrassing. I wet the bed until 8th grade. That's true.
Oh my gosh.
That's a fact. I
So
don't usually.
vulnerable.
I think it's the first time I've ever said that on here.
And if people like stay this long, they're gonna hear that nugget. And then
Unless they clip it. Nobody clip that.
don't clip it.
Nobody clip that, please. But yeah, that is true. And that's the type of thing I tell people. So I've learned that about myself. I think it's endearing to share too much. I really think so.
And I think there's like a little bit of like, yeah, like
This guy's real. This
Yeah.
guy's for real, because nobody would tell me something like that.
totally.
I think that's part of it too.
And
You're like, they
then-
must be open.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like you're saying like there's a little bit of vulnerability in that. And then also when you do it on stage, like
Liberating.
it's liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are also like, oh my God, we all have like things that are like crazy. And I'm so glad that, you know, I don't have to share mine, but I'll listen to hers, you know.
Right? Hey, we're all freaks.
We're all freaks.
And that's great. So anyways, we were super happy to have Anne Frank on the podcast today. And thank you guys for watching here on Ruse Radio.
Let's go.
Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's a